He's dead! He literally died! That's his ass! On your life, Ben Agoo? No way! He's dead! What the f? They were supposed to make more, not take away! What the no way! Holy mother of God, no! And she's asleep! She hasn't even woken up! She's gonna wake up to his ashes! She's gonna literally wake up to his ashes! Hey guys, what's going on? Since this segment was recorded, apparently Bowblax did another Instagram crash out live stream where he made two Sims characters mate or some. I don't know. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. Cuddling for hours in a thunderstorm. Are they gonna? They're literally their health got their bladder. They're all dying. They fell asleep. Wait, one of them died. I didn't think any of this deserved like an additional segment, because we're posting a full hour and 40 minutes of Bowblax right now. Also, there's allegations that Bowblax was using more, I don't know, what's the right word? I don't know. He was apparently catfishing people on Reddit. That's apparently something that's happened right now. Listen, Bowblax is a mess. I could talk about Bowblax every day for a year, and it would still involve new information. All of this is disgusting and weird, and I don't like it. By the way, in this clip, I do say that Bowblax had this post deleted or removed it or something. I find out about halfway through that Bowblax has blocked me on Reddit, and it's an IP ban. So yeah, whatever. I don't really care about that. I just wanted to make sure people don't get the wrong idea. This post is still publicly available on Reddit. All right? Thank you. Let's get into the content. We've got Denims, chat. We've got Denims to walk us through it. Okay, guys, so Bowblax has obviously responded to the criticism. We're going to show this segment in a second. But I saw that Ethan Klein sent Bobby a crown, saying that he's like the king after the most recent section. Now, obviously, if you didn't watch the stream the other day, I haven't posted the VOD, so we're going to have to go over it quickly. This is the segment that Ethan Klein did on fucking Bowblax, all right? Denims doesn't really talk in it. She's just kind of more on the screen. So we're going to watch this real quick. We're going to get caught. We're going to go up to speed, and we're going to figure out what exactly transpired. And then we're going to watch Tipster maul Bowblax and send him into the shadow realm.
When is he posting?
So guys, what content has Bowblax been posting on Twitter? What would you describe Bowblax's new content endeavor to be?
Is it a genuine question?
You know.
Yeah.
You know.
Stop!
Is that
How would you describe spicy? Vile. We've got vile. We've got gross. We have satanic. Pube posting. Creator Clash 3.
like his full-time thing now?
Creator Clash 3 is funny because, like, there is like a 40% chance that Zero from Smash gets announced to be on Creator Clash 3. Because he was planning on, like, fighting in an event, and there'd be no event funnier for him to end up on. If Zero fights and Froggy Fresh can't, that would be one of the funniest controversies in the history of YouTube. All right, continue.
I
think Bobby uses they, them pronouns.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this is how it starts. Obviously, Olivia points out that Bowblax uses they, them pronouns. Now, we here on the Bowblax History channel during Bowblax History Month know that Bowblax uses he, she, they, and apparently, when you talk about Miss Man, she, he, chooses to use ze, them, and zer. Okay, so there is not a pronoun that Bowblax has turned down.
Bobby, I'll respect your pronouns.
Yeah, I'm really happy for them. They seem to be
Bobs, you're finding yourself.
being proud.
Now, it is Bowblax History Month because he has done a lot for the black community with his hip-hop rap music.
I can see why, though. Bobby, you have to understand, you and your friends were the edgiest shitbags in the...
Also, to be clear,
Now, what Ethan is starting to point out here is, like, Bowblax is kind of getting his just desserts because he was a real piece of shit. And if you watch his content on Tipster and the stuff he was saying about the LGBTQ community, it kind of flies in the face of him, you know, using it to get out of criticism now. And that's what I personally think this is. I'll expand on that more later.
Ethan was ranting about trans women in sports, and that's why he was called transphobic. Oh.
Fucking internet. And then all of a sudden, you know,
I
you're
see.
kind of like, I'm they, and I'm trans. It's like, you're...
And by the way...
You couldn't have positioned yourself worse.
Denims...
The male pronoun. Bowblax is a thing. They, them king.
Yeah. By the way, if having a bad take, quote unquote, on trans sports makes you transphobic, then I would say probably 80% of the country is transphobic. And I don't really know why that's what you're hinging transphobia on, because majority of people think, I'm sorry, 80% of the country is probably transphobic, 20% doesn't watch sports.
With the people you were associated with. I accept you as who you are.
Good news. They're going to shed their bigoted audience. So they're going to have a much nicer...
What is a bad take? That trans athletes should be like engaging in women's sports that have contact and stuff, like boxing.
group of people watching.
I guess that's true.
But I think that, and unfortunately, I'm saying I think that's all of them.
So they're going to lose their entire
drama?
audience.
What is the drama? Is it just that?
I don't know if I didn't want to say it until I.
Why does your mic not pick up your funny laugh?
I'll fuck with it. It's kind of difficult to keep all the laugh and then simultaneously remove like a lot of the extra clicks and shit that go on. I don't want it to like echo a ton, but I also want it to be like pretty concise.
God.
It's
Okay, he's
sensitive.
embracing it.
We shouldn't talk off the cuff about it.
So he's embracing it. So it was discovered he had Sorry.
Like, it's obvious that Ethan wants to like talk about how Bowblax is kind of getting his just desserts for his treatment of Tipster and his treatment of the LGBT groups and stuff like that, but simultaneously also trying to hinge his entire future comeback on how people have been treating him poorly and being transphobic and stuff. But he can't do that without discussing the elephant in the room or the unshaven mammal in the room.
It's discovered that Bobby had an OnlyFans as a kitty girl or something. Was it a kitty girl thing or?
Did someone just whisper? What was that?
Bobby had an OnlyFans as a kitty girl or something.
Somebody tried to whisper something to Ethan. I just caught that.
Was it a kitty girl thing or a trans? I forget. Maybe both. I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly.
Ethan, without having it's
Okay,
too
because
sensitive.
You're the one that said talk
And Dan
about
is
it.
trying to reel him in right now.
He's saying let's not talk off the cuff.
By the way, Dan is the unsung hero of the H3 podcast. Even if I disagree with 90% of the shit he says, keeps Ethan in line. He needs him.
I was like,
Mammoth, it was a shrimp. You're not wrong.
I don't want to talk about it. And you guys were like, let's talk about it. Is that not what happened? Did I
I
misunderstand?
didn't hear that.
Well, anyway.
When does Denims react? She's not here for the react. It was just the easiest way to get the clip.
Listen, I was just trying to, I didn't want to
I also needed to entice my audience with a reason to watch this a second time.
say anything until he was
Yeah,
comfortable.
people are just realizing this is a Denims reaction. Like, we literally haven't heard Denims utter a sound yet.
to talk about, but he just posted this on his public thing. He said straight, by the way, with a picture of him wearing high.
Is she alive? No, she's AU. She's artificial unintelligence.
High socks and the skirt. So
Bobby.
not on. That's him. This is him. He's coming. I'm sorry. They're coming out. They're coming out.
And good for them.
Whoever just keeps hitting the awkward Bowblax sound bites, literally, I love that person.
Let me take a
Live
look.
life how you want to, have fun.
And they're
But-
also
Do
being,
what you got-
and listen, they're being super nice. They're not saying anything out of pocket.
Gotta do.
I love how he tried to like fight these transphobia allegations, and then like he can't go more than 5 seconds without misgendering.
Okay, just to be clear, Bowblax is not being misgendered at all throughout this entire thing, and like, I wouldn't blame you if Bowblax said she, her, and had a full beard and body hair. I wouldn't blame you for thinking that they go by he, him. I'm sorry. I don't think that most people stop and think body hair, facial hair, and long hair. They think this person likes Metallica. They don't see this person as like gender bending the norm. They think this is somebody who could have been cast as Eddie in Stranger Things season 4.
Bobs,
Shed the fence that you need to shed.
Bobs, you'll always be welcome.
But again, Bowblax goes by he, him. That's just not a situation that's occurring.
in this community, just keep giving us
bringing
those
those banger sound bites.
Exactly. As long as you're shouting crazy shit, we love you.
We ride with you.
We don't care what you're wearing when you're shouting.
Here, Olivia found their tweet discussing it. I think
Okay.
it's worth getting
So
it straight from the source here.
Bobs
Okay.
said the following: I feel like I came out as non-Barry at the worst time in the worst way.
I promise, Brewer, we're not here for Denims. We're really, this is a Bowblax segment. I swear to God. Denims is barely in this clip.
That might be true, just considering how they found out. happened during a mental health crisis. Didn't know that. Gender diversity discourse online is one of the most volatile it's ever been, and my gender expression.
And then Olivia brings up a tweet where Bowblax is just crying because he's getting the just desserts for his own actions.
Seems to be the least expected type. Feminine with body hair.
And I'm not going to shit on Olivia too much. It's clear we're getting a few digs from her in this clip. And it's like, I just disagree with her on everything she's saying. And she clearly isn't like actually read up on any of the stuff Josh did and thinks that this is just some malicious attack on their trans status or something. But like, she's just completely wrong. And I'm not going to just bash the fuck out of her because she's basically an employee of somebody else's show. I don't really care if she disagrees with me.
Oh, so, okay, so he's...
There.
First mistake.
The only one that I'll ever go after if they annoy me is AB, because AB had a sustainable YouTube career and has called me racist on fucking Augie RFC's stream. It's personal, okay? I actually have no problem with AB, but he's the only one I'll ever criticize.
You're on Twitter. Like, get off of that.
Yeah,
There's no...
Yeah, go to Instagram where you can post like an insane person on your story.
Their whole thing,
By the way,
unfortunately.
she is just fucking seething here. This is before the nuke, obviously.
Still not
their
posted.
mental health. First step.
On their camera, it says 9 minutes. So like,
Everybody on the internet.
it says 8 minutes.
Like, he's got some amends to make. I you know...
And Ethan's pointing out all the right things. We're going to dive deeper into this now. That's why we're here.
Not like all of a sudden he's a great... Or sorry, where did Bobby say the pronouns is they? Because it seems like they's referring to themselves as a man here.
Usually neutral pronouns they them when someone
If somebody's
identifies as
non-binary,
non-binary.
that's it's fair to assume.
Okay, wait. So now Olivia and Dan are arguing that even though we have no idea what pronouns Bowblax goes by, if they say they're non-binary, it's customary just to call them a them. Why? I feel like non-binary, again, we mentioned this, non-binary is not the same as like transgender. It could mean a different thing to any person who follows the title, right? It literally just means not like the others. Meaning that, like, non-binary to one person could have a completely different experience to another. So why would you try to, like, take non-binary and assign it a given pronoun if the entire nature of it is that it's different between person to person?
But
Well,
I
okay,
guess we're not.
I mean, he's
totally certain.
It's really not
It's
that hard.
It's, like, extremely unnecessary to do this to Ethan on stream.
It's
I'm gonna
really
say
not
I'm gonna
that
say
hard.
he.
It's really not that hard? Why? I think it's pretty hard. Yeah, it's pretty fucking hard, dude.
referring to himself as a man in this tweet. And
It might be the
It's literally Bowblax calling himself he and referring to himself as a dude, and then everyone be like, hold on, guys, he doesn't know what his pronouns are. They doesn't know what his pronouns
they
are.
go by everything.
I mean, if he's
Impossible.
not specifically said like my pronouns are they them, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No,
is
it's
it?
Giving up?
Yeah.
We
Have
just
to
gave.
call them
We're
they,
giving
them.
up.
No, it's possible that it's not a big
I think is Denims like drunk? What the fuck was that?
deal.
It's
Sounded like Ethan Ralph.
the safest and probably the most.
I feel totally comfortable calling him until he says otherwise. I
And she's like scoffing at this. This is like deranged behavior.
feel that's respectful, and I'm treating him like a human being. And he says he wants to eventually be feminine with body and facial hair is the end goal. I know I look 100% male right now. I don't know what's the pronouns, but until he's
Well,
specified,
I think what I'm doing is right.
I don't see that.
Yes, what you're doing is right. 100% right. If you even took one click on his profile, you'd see it was right. But you guys are all like crazy fucking ideologically locked retarded people.
The need to.
What?
Why is she laughing? Because she thinks this is like bad. That Ethan is saying something wrong here. That this is like a good example of the disconnect between the radical freaks over at Twitch and the normal human beings. Most people would see what Ethan doing here is either rational or a little over the top. But everyone seeing what Denims is doing is going to look at this and say this is like absolutely fucking unhinged.
This is why I'm watching.
But anyway, I was saying, what was I saying? Yeah, he was a giant piece of shit for a long time. So like, just because you're trans now doesn't mean you're a good person all of a sudden.
Dude, I am 100%, and with mental illness, and I have mental illness, the worst is like, oh, I was just diagnosed like as severely depressed. But what about the Nazi rally you were at last week? Are we like cool with that now because you're depressed, or like
Yeah.
you just get a pass?
But that being said, I have an open heart and an open mind. I'm way open to the Bobby redemption arc. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that.
And I'll tell you exactly why I'm not, and I fully disagree with Ethan.
I'm open to it. That's it. Yeah.
Again, as long as the sound bites keep coming in, God bless.
That's all we care about.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
You guys are so dumb and pathetic in the chat. Literally wait till he comes out and says, like, you can call me he.
He already did this. Nobody looked at it. Nobody even looked it up. But yeah.
Literally wait till he says...
Again, I don't understand. For Olivia to find this tweet of Bowblax, you have to click on his account, right? you have to see it.
Is my pronouns he.
Just wait for him to prove me right.
You stupid fucking woke fucks.
Just wait till he admits
Like,
that I'm always
I'm
right.
being respectful.
No, it doesn't need
You
to be
can't-
more than it is.
Why are you
like-
assuming his pronouns?
Well, it's not when you
You're
use
assuming his
when you use
pronouns.
neutral
He
pronoun-
hasn't clarified.
No, when you use neutral.
You're poor, Olivia, dude.
Calm
When
down.
you use
No,
neutral
it's annoying.
Was
pronouns-
that tweeted before the stream was 2 days ago? Yeah.
Because
Yes,
people
tell the woman to calm down after you're screaming at her.
Oh, come,
the most respect-
By the way, you people in the chat who are like, "Oh, Ethan fucking is L being like transphobic." It's like you are presuming his pronouns. And by the way, why are you being so militant about it? How does that help anybody? I'm obviously being respectful, and I'm waiting for him to clarify. Like you guys are fucking wrong. And if you ever want other people outside of your bubble to ever be
But it's a crazy based Ethan argument.
respectful and
I
take
feel like
like
this is a really good precursor, or like it's like a good like pre-gaming.
Yeah, like this is the disconnect between retarded people and me. This is you're 100% right, Denims. This is a perfect example of why you guys suck.
Session for the content
Sponty
we're,
King?
we're about to get. I'm being respectful. Shut the fuck up. Calm down. I know what the most respectful thing to do is. That's why I just spent 5 minutes failing to
being so pathetically ridiculous when people are trying in good faith to make an effort and be respectful. Like you
make an effort. He, they. Okay.
Those are that's literally 2 out of 3 of his pronouns. If he threw a she in there, he'd be hitting all of the above. It would be D.
Dude.
guys are fucking wrong.
If I can chime in also with trans people that I personally know, this is not what they want. They just want to be treated respectfully. And as long like what Ethan was saying was totally respectful, so it really doesn't
Me, the cis person, will comment.
matter. We don't need to.
Yes, you, the cis person. Are you like self-reporting? Are we self-IDing right now? You're still the cis person as well.
It makes
This is cis on cis violence, bro.
such a big deal about like he or they until it's like he's saying, and we don't even
Every
know.
single person here is cis. Arguably, Bowblax is. I'm kidding. I'm really. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
He might be totally fine with it. The point is that the conversation we're having is totally
Denims, I
respectful
understand
and
what's
promoting,
happened
like, accepting everything.
He's been
So I
infected
don't
by
understand
Jordan
why even
Peterson
go there.
DNA. That's why his hair is growing like that. And he has one
That's
of his
like-
old favorite hairstyles.
It reminds
Ethan is growing into a horrible right-wing butterfly.
me of this conversation like when Kendrick Lamar had on the Big Steppers. He had this track about how his aunt was trans and his coming to terms with this over the years. And he used derogatory language in that song as part of the story to
What is
show
Bunty King to
his
you?
transformation.
Who is Bunty
And
King?
like people were like, "Oh, he's being homophobic, he's being transphobic because he
All right,
said these
so
words."
you guys
It's
get
like,
the point, right? This is why we're watching this. The Bowblax segment was just them kind of going through it. Eventually, as it comes, they keep fighting a little bit more, and then he buttons out because he said something he didn't want broadcasted.
Well,
I'm assuming is.
him. And you guys are in the chat shouting at how I'm wrong. Like, how pathetic are you? You know what I mean?
well,
I'm
it's-
not assuming his pronouns. And fuck all these people. Go ahead.
You literally assume them. That's literally what assuming is.
Hey, retard. If Bowblax's pronouns were he, him, and he's yet to update, that's not making an assumption. That's going with his current pronouns. If he changes them, and you say they, them, well, yeah, I'm sorry, if he says he's non-binary and you start calling him they, them, that would be assuming. But you've been calling Bowblax he, him for the last 5 years. So, no, that's just maintaining. That's what that is. I don't understand why this person's IQ is so low. It makes me physically angry to have to see them on stream, so I'm not going to again.
You literally.
So they button out, and then she does this face, like she's like, oh my god, he must have called Olivia the N-word! Oh my god! Racial slurs were uttered! Uttered.
Power. He's
Actually, I don't want most of this to be from Epsony.
Oh, God. And then immediately over to Destiny. But that's not why we're here. So, Bowblax put a response out, which has been deleted and purged from the internet. Okay, this response, gone. You can't find it. On Reddit, you can actually find the... if you go to a Reddit deleted post finder, you can find what Bowblax actually said, and this went completely missed by our community. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet. It was on my Twitter today. Nobody caught it, never made it to our Reddit. Nobody knew this guy responded. But it was gone. It was deleted. It was taken off by the moderators. I think it was then put back up. And then Bowblax deleted it himself after it had like 400 upvotes or something, or like 1.4k upvotes. Because if you go to his account, you can't find it there. You'd have to Google Bowblax. Well, this is how you find it. Google r/H3H3 Productions Bobby response with spaces and stuff, and then go to like a Reddit deleted thing finder, and it'll spit this out. I was going to post this on Twitter, but I thought it would probably make more sense to respond here. Now, we know Bowblax has been trying to pander to this audience specifically because he thinks it's probably his best opportunity at redemption. He was trying to use Ethan to sell plushies. Ethan didn't budge. Thank you. Appreciate it. He needed to learn that lesson, and I'm glad you taught it to him by not handing him another silver spoon. But yeah, I was going to post this on Twitter. I thought it would probably make more sense to respond here. First off, my pronouns are any, and I had no issue with people calling me he, him. The giant shitbag comment confused me a bit, especially when Ethan has highlighted gay and trans people, since I've always been very... Oh, wait, hold on. Especially when Ethan highlighted gay and trans people, since I've always been very outspokenly pro-LGBTQ, and I pushed out back on transphobic arguments when I could, and even have a handful of videos on my channel where the main topic is defending trans rights. The problem with Bowblax is he's an autistic warhead, okay? It doesn't matter if it's... Like, this is true. Bowblax has objectively been pro-trans on his YouTube career for most of the time he's been there. Except for the times he hasn't been. Whenever it's advantageous to attack somebody using gender identity. Because Bowblax doesn't actually really believe in anything when it comes to controversy. Okay, he can defend Keemstar objectively for 5 years, and then Keemstar can slight him, and then he could start using all of the arguments he defended against him to just throw them all back in his face because Bowblax's feelings were hurt. No example is better than when Bowblax, Mr. Trans Advocate, started talking to Tipster. I've always been respectful of gender to Tipster. Tipster supports creepy trans slumber party cult. Tipster's new pronouns are large/meal, and him making an entire stream out of Tipster adding they, them to his pronouns. Again, this is all crazy for somebody who wants to be like a victim of transphobia in the community. Bowblax watched Tipster go through this exact same arc, right? Where he came out as pansexual, and Bowblax fired up in 42 hours of live streams bashing the out of him for being trans or being pansexual, right? It's actually super embarrassing that he wants to weaponize this, but he's been doing it the entire time. Ever since Bowblax came out as Mr. Man, she, he, or even just as non-binary, it's always been as an offensive move, not a defensive move. If you remember, if you go back to my original coverage, you only found out that Bowblax was non-binary because he falsely accused me of outing him, okay? I had no intention of publishing any of the dress stuff. I had no intention of publishing any of the non-binary stuff. I omitted it from all of my coverage. That didn't stop Bowblax from trying to gain yardage in the community by saying that I outed him without his consent. And ever since that day, he's been trying to use his gender identity, and he's obviously been trying to use the porn fetish weird shit to try to argue that we're all being unhinged and he's actually just the victim of transphobic attacks or something, okay? Now, he continues, I'll admit that some of my early stuff, 2019, 2020 early Twitter reading videos, which is the time frame of most of my Ethan Klein commentary videos, had uncharitable commentary from me. So if Ethan was saying this 5 years ago, he'd be right, but saying it in 2025 is strange to me when I've only ever been toxic to people like Keemstar and Tipster on a side channel that doesn't have that much reach. So now Bowblax is establishing he thinks it's okay to be transphobic, okay? It's okay to be transphobic. It's okay to be bigoted or whatever and attack people for this gender identity stuff if your channel is small penis energy, okay? Look, I didn't have any viewers. I was a pathetic cretin. When Augie left, none of his viewers came to watch my streams. So it doesn't matter if I went against anything I've ever said publicly about trans people just as an excuse to pile drive Tipster. It doesn't matter at all, in fact, because I'm a pathetic loser who had no viewers. This is actually unhinged that he wrote this online. Okay, this is crazy. I'm a pathetic loser who has no viewers, therefore, when I'm a hypocrite, it doesn't matter. But he wants us to believe that he's been a pro-LGBTQ advocate. Now, if you're wondering why he's calling himself a shitbag in 2019 or 2020, it's because he's decided retroactively that all the defenses he made of Keemstar back then and all the issues he had with Content Nuke just don't exist anymore because he's fought with Keemstar and Ethan's been nice to him. That's all that's what's happening now. If you're not seeing what he's putting down, that's what's happening. He doesn't go through and talk about why the Etika stuff weirds him out or any of that stuff. He basically just says, look, I was a big shitbag back then when I was coming after you. I wanted to settle any bad blood that might have lingered with Ethan for a while, and I told AB that I wanted to have a call with him 2 or 3 times over the podcast a couple of years. Me going to see AB at Creator Clash 1 and giving him my stupid neckbeard stuffed animal was an example of me trying to show that I'm a chill guy. He's a chill dude, guys. Can somebody Photoshop Bowblax into the chill guy emote? That would be a great emote for the channel. And I'm generally supportive of what they're doing growing the show. I have no hard feelings towards anyone, and I want to thank the crew and Ethan for discussing this in a very respectful way. If viewers have any questions about what was discussed on the show today, I'd be happy to respond in the comments. And that, my friends, is when Bowblax started his AMA. Yes, this is all deleted. He went back and individually deleted all this stuff. There was an AMA that took place in this comment section. Yes. We all missed this. Nobody covered this. It all happened so fast and it was gone. So in the AMA, people were asking, saying, I'm glad there's no bad blood, and hearing from the horse's mouth. And then he goes, don't talk about horses. Vosh may be watching. Ooh, funny one, Bowblax. Sorry for the obnoxious self-promo. Remember that little small penis energy YouTube channel that's just not big enough to be held to the same standards as everybody else's content? You guys should sub to my Mayo Monkey YouTube channel. I do streams here, and I'd love to have you guys in chat. Thank you for all the kind comments. It's made my day. Anything for you, Bobs. Oh, okay. So now we're shilling our YouTube channel and Ethan's stream. That's very on brand for Bowblax, who's licking the fucking cum off the floor to try to move his career forward because it's not going anywhere as it stands. But this is the one that I really wanted to show you. Respectfully, what is the BLM song? Now, I've heard plenty of reasons why he created the BLM song, and it was years ago when he was much younger, and he's a little autistic teenager, and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't explain why he was in the airport saying those Mexicans are getting really close to my luggage, but regardless, he's been pretty fucking consistent. Until now, the BLM song was made as an edgy joke for my friends in 2016. I was a lot younger back then. Yeah, that is how age works, Josh. And the world was a very different place. This was before Donald Trump and George Floyd. Guys, iDubbbz learned empathy after calling someone the N-word, okay? Bowblax learned about racism after George Floyd was killed. And by the way, 2016 is pre-Trump. It's not. It's not. It's not what that is. He can't even count. That's even funnier. Or if it was like literally pre-Trump, like just in front of Trump, which is funny. This was so yeah, guys, there is BF and AF. So there's before Floyd and after Floyd. That's how years are calculated. In racism, there's the BF times and the AF times. I was also genuinely misinformed on the black community issues and thought that we all left racism in the 20th century. That's why he did a song just screaming the N-word. He's like, guys, racism it's gone, guys. We could just scream the N-word now. Traveling to red states in the US, plus growing up and being more educated, taught me that racism is still a very real issue, even in first world countries. This is the fucking cringiest bullshit this is absurd. This is genuinely so fucking retarded that I can't believe 5 people clicked upvote on it. Guys, he needed to see George Floyd to die to realize that racism was still very much thriving. This is just insane. This is like actually unreal. Does anyone believe this shit? Is anyone looking at this like, go off, king, queen, they? Go off, king, queen, jester. You've got this one. This is great. This is a W. Then we've got Tipster's tweet where he's pointing it out. In all fairness to him, he's been vocally in support of queer issues. That's the problem, Tipster. It's because he's an autistic warhead. All right? The minute you get slighted, suddenly everything he's ever said out the window, okay? He needs those easy dunks. Those easy dunks are coming, all right? Because he has absolutely no principles when it comes to fighting people. Now we're going to watch Tipster, because Tipster just kind of molests him on stream for a solid couple of minutes. I'm not going to watch the whole thing, but we're going to watch a little bit of this, because it's brutal. This is a brutal clip. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But before we do, there's a few more things I want to get to. This was Bowblax asking why this post was banned before he ultimately deleted it. Probably by accident, they're obviously getting brigaded. Who cares about the content nuke? The Bobby pronoun debate is way more important. So that's just him saying that it was taken down. This is a post from Bowblax on Blue Sky. The support from the H3 fanbase in my decision to transition, came out as a non-binary, has meant the world to me after only seeing negative reactions since I came out last summer. So this isn't even just the man-she-he stuff from January. Bowblax is crying about the transphobia that he's been facing since the summer. That's the bulk of the criticism, you know, is the bigoted reviews towards the non-binary. That's why people are mad at him, just to point that one out there. You caught me, Tipster. I've said negative things about Ava Chris Tyson, Keffels, an organizer who put transphobic guys in charge of resetting displaced trans youth who only got fired when I called it out. Should have defended them like you did with Vosh. Is this you, little bro, trying to be all buddy-buddy again? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat. Uh-oh. Oh, they put it back up? Yeah, it was down today. They might have put it back up, but it was definitely deleted earlier today. Wait a minute. Oh my god. I actually might be wrong. Bowblax might have blocked me on Reddit, which is why it didn't load. Oh my god. Wait, I might have to put a preamp when I go over this. That's actually probably what happened. Bowblax probably personally blocked me so I wouldn't find this. Because no, it's down for me. It's 100% not up. Like, you could see it on screen. This is the post. You sent it to me? On my screen, this is a deleted post. Let me see. Let me put it in incognito. Otherwise, maybe he's literally gone out of his way to hide his Reddit post. No, it's down. It's 100% down. It's there for us. It's not there. So, this is an incognito window. You've got screenshots on Discord. Then it might be just keyed in. But, I mean, there's no... When's the last post? Are people actively posting on this? 8 months ago. This is an 8-month ago post, so you just sent me the wrong one. Wait, where's the... hold on, send me the link. He IP blocked you? Reddit IP blocks you. Wait, really? No way. No, I've done this before. I've seen things that were blocked. r/Bowblax. u/Bowblax. Posts. Is that real? Reddit owns you. I found the post. Can somebody... Yeah, you can't post it. Can you at me on Twitter with the link to the new post? That's crazy if he IP blocked... That's so funny. Chat, we need somebody on Bowblax. Follow that whole Reddit account. Give me everything you got. Wow. That's insane. I got banned by email. H3 permabanned me for defending Ethan. I'm permabanned from H3 Productions. I'm never getting unbanned from there. I tried to get unbanned from there. I think I sent them a message and they muted me for a month. You see it? That's crazy. So it was down, then it must be back up, and then he must have blocked me. That's even funnier. So wait, that means he didn't delete these posts and he really wanted to. He really wanted to tell people that he found out about racism after George Floyd. I thought he might have come to his senses, but it turns out he's just retarded. That's so wild. Or I guess it's up. We'll just say it's up, but he blocked me. And I literally am IP banned from viewing his things. I guess you gotta... That's a good time to use ExpressVPN. Oh! Okay, I'm not gonna do it while I'm streaming, but you can use ExpressVPN to check it out. That's probably how I'll engage with it then. Cool. But yeah, so then he follows this saying, this is why people who are extremely vocal in support of the rights of trans people are as vocal as they are. We know trans rights would be a primary target for conservatives. So this is Tipster making a regular defense of trans people. And then then Joshy over here, Bowblax, chimes back in being like, hey, Tippy, knock, knock. Knock, knock, Tippy, you want to be friends? And then he lashes out against him again, which has been like the thing that he's been doing. Now here, I kind of explored this in the last stream, but where is the Bowblax tweet where he starts to discuss like how he views himself and his gender? Because I'm going to make a statement on it now, and I'm going to upload the segment that I did last time, which was a bit more disjointed, but I do want to make a hard stance of how I feel about Bowblax, because this is going to come up a lot and I really want my opinion shared. I feel like I came out as non-binary at the worst time in the worst way. It happened during a mental health crisis. Gender diversity discourse online is the most volatile it's ever been, and my gender expression seems to be the least accepted type. Feminine with body hair. If I unblock Bowblax, I should be able to see the follow-up to this, right? BTW. Feminine with body/facial hair is the end goal. I know I look 100% male right now. Another reason is why I would have stayed closeted for longer. Now, here's my issue with Bowblax, okay? First of all, I think the feminine body hair, facial hair thing is kind of a mixed bag. I think for the most part, when you think of feminine, you don't really think body/facial hair. I don't know how he can make himself look more feminine now without shaving or his face or his body. I think the weird pubes and the dresses and stuff, you know what he sounds like? He sounds like a drag queen. Okay? If he's not, that's perfectly fine. If this non-binary thing is totally gender related, that's perfectly fine. Not trying to discount his fucking realization of all the stuff he's going through, but 10 years ago, if somebody said all the stuff that Josh said in this tweet, you'd call them a transvestite. Now that's like a slur now and you can't really use it, but it just kind of sounds like he's cross-dressing. And the reason why I think this is because when he's interacting with people, he's constantly saying stuff like gender euphoria is making me... Like, he used Chris Tyson and them as an example of, like, I understand why they go crazy with gender euphoria. Keffels and Chris Tyson. Somebody who helped kids get drugs and somebody who's an alleged pedophile. Okay, those were the examples he used. And you can check those out in my live stream when I covered them, right? Simultaneously, he also sent pictures of him in a dress to own Keemstar to Connor and started talking about like how confident or whatever he is, doing all this, like all this stuff that we found out was later like sexual stuff that he was making for his online pornography profile. These things were being sent to Connor early on. It was very clear that there's like a sexual angle to this, right? And he also had conversations about his sexuality and stuff with Connor, unprompted, unchecked. And then the minute that he quote unquote transitioned, it was linked to like a pornography account, right? People say that he's got a fucking fetish. I personally think he does. I think a lot of this is sexual for him, but again, that's based entirely off of the stuff he's done publicly. Whatever. Fine. If he's non-binary and he actually is like struggling with his gender identity and stuff, I wish him the best. But I know what he did when he said he had BPD. Okay? What he did, the first thing he did when he had BPD was try to use it as a be-all, end-all Swiss Army knife reason for every bad thing he's ever done. When he thought he had BPD, he goes, holy shit, this will explain every bad thing I've done in my entire life. Okay? He ran around and he was telling Connor, he goes, this is why the Boo Boss stream happened. He was using it to try to get people to leave him alone, like Alex Gekmo. The minute that he thought he had a new disease or whatever, or a new condition, right? A new thing that he could blame for all of his faults and use as like a one-size-fits-all answer for why he is the way that he is. He took full advantage of it and tried to weaponize it against everybody else. That's what he did. He tried to weaponize it against people. He tried to use it to like navigate out of sticky situations. Ultimately, he didn't have this. He wasn't even diagnosed with it, but he was so confident that he was going to be diagnosed with it, and it explained every problem he had. He just ran around and told everybody about it. Okay? He did this with Connor, Augie, me, Alex, Zip Zap, random people he hardly knew. I don't think Alex was told about the non-binary thing, but he was told about the BPD thing, right? It sounds like when Bowblax has an idea in his head that he's got some kind of condition or he's got something going on, he kind of creates this image in his head of what he thinks it should be. And the way that he interacted with his non-binary situation is identical to the way he handled his BPD diagnosis. I don't like how Bowblax is using his non-binary status to try to paint us as transphobic or bigoted for the issues that we had over the summer. You could totally say that we were rude to him or disgusting to him, or even you could even say bigoted for the stuff we were saying in January when I had to see his fucking penis on my timeline. I said a lot of choice words back then, but we were nothing but nice to him over the time that he was we were nothing but like understanding about the stuff he was doing in private until he literally forced our hand and attacked me publicly with his gender thing. Now you go and you look at some of the posts that he's making on social media right now where he's trying to elicit sympathy from his trans stuff, right? Like his gender thing, like all of the stuff that I've been hearing since the summer is just super negative. I'm so glad the H3 community. It's just so obvious that he's using this as like an ends justify the means thing. Like he wants people to see him as a perpetual victim, but he's using his new gender identity to facilitate it. It's just gross. It's absolutely disgusting. It's like internet Munchausen syndrome. Yeah, it's like, so I don't really take anything he does seriously. I wish him the best of luck. I'll use any fucking pronouns he wants. I don't really give a fuck. But to me, it seems like he's got a weird fetish thing. He likes to cross-dress, and he's like married to the idea that he's a LGBTQ ally member because he probably sees that as a, maybe even psychologically, maybe it's not even intentional. He probably sees it as the answer to all of his problems that BPD wasn't. Because BPD wasn't the reason why he was crying on a Boo Boss live stream, and BPD wasn't the reason why all his friends hated him. Once he kind of doesn't have something to crutch on, he just has to realize that, well, he was an asshole, and people treated him like that because he was an asshole, and there's no more condition or no more identity issue or no more dysphoria that he can use to explain away the fact that he's just kind of an asshole. That's my issue with Bowblax. Now, obviously, I say all the funny stuff about like the body hair thing is disgusting and gross and blah 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 blah, but I'm just skeptical of Bowblax because he's an unreliable narrator and he's a self-serving one who's been trying to use this publicly and privately as a way to like discredit the people who hate him, while simultaneously using these same gender attacks at people he doesn't like. Okay, oh my god, they've been so bad to me towards my transition. It's like, well, yeah, you fucking deserve it. Have you seen the way you treated Tipster? And you could say, well, Nick, you were bad to Tipster too. You have a thumbnail just like this one. That's great. I don't wear dresses. I'm a dude. My pronouns are he, him till the day I fucking die. I don't have to worry about this stuff. I also didn't go super hard on Tipster. I asked Tipster. Apparently I didn't say too much about it. Bowblax was way harder. He was a self-hating member of the LGBTQ. All his rules and his stuff went out the window. Yeah, I put the pan one. Yeah, my cock is not getting posted on my Twitter timeline. I'm not going to be starting a porn profile. Any leaks of any kind are purely accidental. Okay, in the future. All right, listen, I'm leaving myself open for any mistakes. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to be worried about any of this stuff happening to me. Because I know what I am. Bowblax clearly doesn't, and he pays the price for it. Like, why wouldn't Tipster come in? You did a 2-hour stream about how he added pronouns to his Twitter bio. You asshole. I mean, I think that's funny. That's a. By the way, that Luigi Tipster thing. I had that image. I made that image. that was me. I made that. I did that or whatever. I'm in the. He took my picture and put it in his thumbnail, right? But like. You don't get to sit here and play the, oh, everybody's so transphobic to me card. And I also think the response to see your penis on feed filled like in these weird hairy lingerie photos is reasonable. Listen, I understand Tippy's not going to like it, but I also think it's totally reasonable to have a completely disgusted reaction to seeing your friend's dick unprompted, your YouTuber's dick unprompted in such a dramatic fashion. So, yeah, that's my take. We're gonna take a look at the big Tippy's reaction now. He's gonna go off. Unfortunately for the Tipster haters out there, he's right. This is deserved. I don't think we need a tippy cam. We're gonna take this off. But this is probably the this is the fairest I could be. I think Tipster should have a platform to say his piece on Bowblax.
So, despite how much of a piece of shit he had this YouTube channel where...
Thank you, YouTube. I had the exact timestamp, and YouTube decided I didn't. Hold on. Here, there we go. Good one, Tipster.
Experience with that, and it's not fun. Okay, it's not a fun experience to have. So, despite how much of a piece of shit this guy was to me, I reached out to him and I just wanted to have a chat with him. Like, look, I know how hard it is to come out in this current...
Bowblax literally reached out to Tipster. I'm sorry, Tipster literally reached out to Bowblax to try to be nice to him in his time of need or whatever. And apparently they had like a back and forth conversation. I don't know, Tipster hasn't released the logs. But Bowblax is so desperate to be liked. The minute that like it became opportunistic to attack Tipster, he took it. 100%. He just took it immediately. Not realizing that people respect Tipster a lot more than they respect him now. And you know what's crazy? Tipster's pansexual. A lot of gay bashers in this community. Well, why is it that people respect Tipster more than you, Bowblax, if they're all bigoted, horrible people?
Social media climate, but despite our differences, you know what? I support you, coming...
It's almost like people have a problem with your actions.
Out as non-binary. We had a brief chat about that and a bunch of other things. And I was nice to the guy. I made it very clear. The boundaries were very clear that we're not friends or anything, but I just wanted to reach out and make sure you're doing okay. And we had a really nice chat. That was one of multiple very nice chats that we had where I was supportive of the guy. We talked about his...
But Bowblax is such a little clout demon that he'll accept this private chat with Tipster on good terms and then publicly still take shots at him, knowing it's like the only thing that worked for him over the last 2 years, and he literally has no other options because all of his content is terrible and people were only watching to go after Tipster. But now that Bowblax has replaced Tipster, he doesn't realize that door is closed.
Thoughts on things, his thoughts on his like gender identity. Obviously I'm not going to leak anything here. Super private. Despite how much of a piece of shit I think he is, I'm not going to go out and air out all of his private business, okay? But my point is, I was very supportive of this guy despite how much of a piece of shit he was to me. There was even like one call where I want to say it was like an hour or two of me just letting him vent his frustrations about everything to me. And some of them I was sympathetic to. Other things he was venting his frustrations about, I was just kind of like, well, you kind of got yourself into that situation. So, it is what it is. But I gave
and just
this
to be
guy
clear,
an ear to hear. I was
Just to be clear, if you say that's a Bowblax, that's like an act of war. You can't, like, whenever he's venting and you tell, well, I don't know about that, you're being for it because he's going to remember that to the end of time.
His own exploration of his queer identity. And I was nice to the dude. I had no obligation whatsoever to be nice to someone who had been such a piece of shit to me. And then he goes and does this the moment I make a fucking joke, a literal fucking joke about, did I inspire everybody to do the I'm too good for drama now thing? Like, come on. And let me tell you, this part right here pissed me off the most. The bringing up defending Lolly thing. Why did that piss me off the most? Well, because during some of those conversations that we had in private, we talked about this. Bowblax was like, hey, dude, what was up with the whole, like, Lolly thing, the whole defending people involved in Lolly controversies thing? And without getting into the specifics of the conversation, essentially...
So normally, I think your ears would have perked up when Tipster's like, you know what, the part that annoyed me is when he called me out for defending Lolly. And you expect me to say something like, well, obviously, Tipster, that's going to come up every time. You deserve it. You defended Lolly. It doesn't matter that you've now, like, said these things and you've now backed off on them because people are always going to hold that over you, and that's something you have to accept. Until he points out that apparently him and Bowblax spoke about it privately. If that's the case, And then he immediately went and threw the dagger at him. Like, they had this private heart-to-heart conversation that Tipster's implying. And Bowblax, if you want to leak those DMs and let us know if he's lying, I'd be happy to hear it. I think that's uniquely fucked up to sit there and listen to that. Like, you pour your heart out to each other and immediately use it on the offensive the first fucking time this guy says anything to you. But again, Bowblax is an autistic warhead. The second that he feels slighted, it doesn't matter what his positions are or anything that he's ever said. He's going to treat you like this every single time.
Actually, I told him, look, I was a little bit...
Tipster definitely defended Lolly. Oh, there's no question about that. It's just interesting to have, like, hey, why did you do this? And then, like, have a heart-to-heart and explain it to him privately or whatever. And then just turn around and use that against him in the first conflict. That's crazy. By the way, I think this needs to be reopened for litigation. Why did Bowblax tell Flamenco that he didn't have a problem with what was in Boy Soprano? Is that real? Can somebody find out? Because Flamenco consistently used that argument for years, and I always kind of wrote it off. But is that something Bowblax did? Did Bowblax download Boy Soprano, look through it, or did he just kind of say it because he didn't know the answer? That's a good question. Because if he's going to sit here and just keep doing this, like, defend Lolly thing, what was his take on that?
Tunnel visioned. I got really frustrated with, like...
That's always just been a claim from Flamenco. I don't know if it's true, but I just want to point that out there. Be an interesting thing to look into.
This whole pedo jacketing thing that was...
Boy Soprano is the thing that got Flamenco canned. One of them, at least. One of the 5 reasons or whatever Flamenco is not around.
It's going on in online spaces where people were pedo jacketing people over the most, like, mundane shit. Like, just to give you guys an example, there was a situation where, like...
Yeah, I remember Flamenco said that Bowblax checked for him one time and he agreed, but every other time it came up, he said he didn't. I think that would be an interesting one, because if Bowblax thinks he's morally superior to Tipster, that would prove very quickly if he isn't.
Some 18-year-old teenager was dating some, like, 16-year-old teenager, and people were trying to cancel him for being a pedophile because he was an 18-year-old dating a 16-year-old. I'm sorry, that's not pedophilia, okay? If you think that's pedophilia, you're fucking stupid, all right? That's not fucking pedophilia. But, like, I got so tired of these ridiculous arguments trying to pedo jacket people that I got so tunnel vision about this shit that, admittedly, I jumped on some landmines that I didn't need to do. In hindsight, I can admit it was really fucking...
Again, though, Tipster's problem is that he spent kind of a year coping and seething about this situation, up until the point where it got him in trouble again with Vosh. Like, we had our break or whatever in, like, March of the year before, but it was still going as far as, like, February. So I'm not absolving Tipster of anything he's ever said or done.
Stupid, but having said that, I didn't have to do that shit. And if you're not familiar with the situation, maybe you're new to my audience, so you're not familiar with these things, there's a few situations that people are hypercritical of me in regards to, quote, defending Lolly. Never mind the fact that I never actually defended Lolly. I've been very outspoken against Lolly, but people have misrepresented me making some admittedly stupid arguments and turned...
Again, I would point to the weird... He didn't intentionally defend Lolly, but he defended imagery saying it wasn't Lolly when it objectively was Lolly. Like, the Shadman image is the worst example of Tipster defending Lolly, because he's like, this looks like an adult. It's like, it's drawn by Shadman, prolific pedophile artist. It's got like a fucking, it's got braces on. If there's a picture that's drawn sexually depicting something and it's got braces on and it was drawn by Shadman, chances are it's a fucking kid. Okay? Oh, this looks like an adult was the worst thing Tipster ever said.
That into Tipster was defending Lolly rather than Tipster was defending people and inserting himself into situations that he didn't necessarily need to insert himself into. In hindsight, I was really fucking stupid, and I can own that. I can take the...
But again, I don't think he's going to reference it here. He has referenced this other times people have asked him. This is like, it's not like he's never addressed that before. Since his like kind of like since he kind of popped back in and started talking to everybody again, he has taken those questions.
But to elaborate a little bit further on those specific situations, the first one was a situation where a friend of mine accidentally liked an image on social media.
And that's if you believe it was an accident.
That a lot of people interpreted to be Lolly. And I defended that person because they were a friend of mine. I cared a lot about them. And, that's why I defended them.
See, Tipster, if he's being honest here, has the opposite problem of Bowblax. Whereas, like, Bowblax is extremely malicious and will, like, violate his principles whenever he fights with somebody, he that says anything even slightly mean to him or whatever. Like he'll just completely ignore any principles he has and take every like pot shot he possibly can. Tipster is the opposite. Tipster claims that like he gives his friends the benefit of the doubt to no end for no reason, even if that would violate principles that he holds. So they're two kind of sides of the same coin, I guess. Both of them are extremely toxic. You should just try to have like principles, and then this won't happen.
Now, granted, obviously in hindsight, I didn't need to insert myself into that situation. Pretty sure they probably could have handled the situation just fine themselves.
They would have handled it better. In fact, Tipster blew it up even more. More people found out about it because Tipster engaged with it than would have already found out just by checking it out.
I shouldn't have inserted.
Tipster's too caring. Josh gives zero fucks and Josh is outwardly malicious. Tipster, at least if you're taking him at his word, is too caring.
Myself into the situation. Even more so in hindsight, I shouldn't have defended them at all because
And again, if you want to look at Bowblax, Tommy C was 100% right. He just picked it at the wrong time. Bowblax is like when Tommy said like Bowblax is crazy, clout starved, and would fucking stab anybody in the back just to get ahead. It's true. It's objectively true. The only reason he hasn't is because he couldn't do anything to me. He couldn't do anything to Augie. He couldn't do anything to Tommy. Bowblax was sitting there with the biggest YouTube channel with the least amount of influence, and he never had an actual opportunity to take any of us out. But I guarantee if he was in a position of power and he could have, he would have. So I don't have I have no reservations with how he was treated, and I wouldn't go back and change a single thing about it because I know if the seats were changed and like he was where I was sitting, he would not have hesitated to go even harder than I went on him. But that's just my thing.
But they got the opportunity to stab me in the back, they fucking did it, okay? Like, they literally, like, turned on me the moment they thought it was beneficial to them, which doesn't even make sense because it didn't end up benefiting them at all in the long run. And by the way, I'm not going to name this person because I don't want to give them any fucking juice.
By the way, yeah, that did happen. I don't think we took it super seriously. We didn't even really run the story, did we? We might have mentioned it briefly on a stream, but they ended up defecting on Tipster like years later.
But if by any chance they happen to be seeing this, I saw your fucking quote tweet or your little cope tweet when I mentioned you in my debate with Bowblax where you're like, well, he didn't seem to mind me turning on him in the moment when I told him I was going to do it. There's a big difference between reaching out to someone and telling them, hey, you know, I'm really tired of me doing my streams and people asking me about drama involving you in my streams, so I'm going to publicly distance myself from you just so I don't get asked about it anymore. But in private, we're still cool and we're still friends. And then you go and turn around and start talking shit about me and fucking hit piece videos about me. There's a big fucking difference between that and, hey, I'm okay.
Seems reasonable.
If you publicly distance me from me or whatever, like do whatever you got to do for yourself. Like there's a big fucking difference between that, okay? Let's be fucking real. All right? The other situation was about Ava Chris Tyson.
Yeah, this is the bad one.
A lot of people on the left and in queer spaces, myself included, were defending Ava Chris Tyson because they were facing a lot of genuine...
This is crazy. We got Tipster's response video in 2025.
Transphobia. Now, during the course of that, some people had discovered that Ava Chris Tyson owned an art piece by a very controversial artist known as Shadman. If you're not familiar with Shadman, the dude's a fucking creep. He draws a lot of fucking art about like kids and sexual situations.
He draws real life kids. He drew Daphne Keane, who was X-23 in the fucking Deadpool and Wolverine, but also in Logan when she was like 12 years old.
Situations. It's not good. It's really fucking bad. Okay?
He drew Keemstar's daughter several times. I was only aware of the one, but there was a significantly worse one apparently.
Now, when people asked me about that on a live stream, and when we talked about that on a live stream, my position on that was, yeah, it's a pretty bad look that Ava Chris Tyson owns Shadman art. Now, that doesn't sound like a bad take on the surface. And if that was all I said, that would be fine.
Yes,
right? That would be totally fine. But my stupid ass, that's not all I said. I then started to try and rationalize like the ownership of the art of maybe this particular art piece isn't that problematic. I even went as far as to try and compare it to like
Belle Delphine
art based off of like the aesthetic of like Belle Delphine or something like that. It was stupid. It was really fucking stupid. I can look at myself
Look, I think it's good that he's addressing this publicly. But yeah, this was my biggest criticism for Tipster, so it's cool to hear him say it. I didn't actually know this was coming.
Hindsight, I could look at that clip and say, you were a fucking moron for saying that, okay?
Like, you gotta, like, give people the opportunity to say stuff like this. I don't think he's gonna just disavow Keffels and be in everybody's good graces, but, I mean, you sit here and you want them to address it for years and years and years, and you talk tons of shit about somebody, and then, well, here he is. He came out and he talked about it, so I'll give him that.
You didn't have to say that. You could have still defended Ava Chris Tyson and the transphobia that they were facing at the time, while at the same time saying...
And by the way, unlike Bowblax, who tried to lash out against Tipster, Bowblax just fired shots at Tipster. Tipster, in his response video, did something actually very smart. He addressed all of his major controversies, or like the most meaningful major controversies, so it's not just a complete free-for-all. Whereas Bowblax was deflecting away from his controversy and acting like a little rage pig, and Tipster only choosing to go on offense like months later after their debate, does it in such a fashion where he's addressing past controversies to try to justify why we should even listen to what he has to say, which I respect.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked that they support Shadman and they have that art. I don't condone that sort of thing. That's all I had to fucking say, right? Now, granted, later down the line, we found out some really fucked up shit about Ava Chris Tyson, where nobody's defending Ava Chris Tyson anymore, but that's beside the point.
That is true. The Shadman clip wildly predated everything. That's actually partially me and Keem's fault. We ripped that clip up and put it out right when the shit was going down. I will say we definitely did that. We didn't try to, like, imply that was like, I don't think we tried to imply it was like a recent take Tipster had, but it was relevant because the controversy was there. Like, people were saying that Chris Tyson was weird, and then the Ava Chris Tyson like Shadman stuff started popping up, and everyone just kind of ignored it. It was like, hey, Sunny V2 is a piece of shit for calling out Ava just for being trans, but everybody, including Sunny V2, just left out the fact that he owned like a weird sexualized drawing of a child, and it was on the wall of, like, the Beast fucking... the Beast house.
And then the last one was the Vosh situation.
It wasn't way down the line. It was probably about a year. Probably a good year.
Okay. Vosh got into a little bit of heat over...
There's a wild distinction between the time that Prism interviews Lava and then when the video was made by... What's his name? Sunny V2. There's got to be a solid year between those events. I don't know, I'd be shocked if there wasn't.
You know, Ethan Klein was criticizing some old clips of his. There was the porn leak, and there was some questionable art in that porn leak. And yeah, it was a really fucked situation. Bottom line in that situation, I did not have to get involved in that situation at all. Okay, there was no reason whatsoever for me to insert myself in that situation, and I still fucking did it, okay? And I was really fucking stupid for doing that, because not only did I get myself shit for that, but a friend that I legitimately cared a lot about, okay, ended up inserting themselves in that situation, not just to defend Vosh, but also to defend myself, and they got shit for it too.
Obviously,
and that is my fucking fault, and I feel like shit for that to this fucking day, okay? So 3 situations that I'm most criticized for involving this stupid shit, and I can look in hindsight and
by
say,
the way,
that
is true. I think a lot of the Keffel stuff was related to Tipster jumping in, and that's kind of why Keffel sold out Tipster at one point during that conflict. I remember that. I don't remember exactly what was said, but Tipster opening his mouth is what got Keffel's way more heat, which probably ultimately led to Mudahar's video. If we go back and really try to like map out what caused what when, Tipster is probably responsible for the Mudahar video, even though those leaks were like around. Right, and again, you know what's funny is nobody ever comes to me and goes, Nick, you had those Keffels leaks 6 months or whatever before the Mudahar thing came out, and you didn't share them? That's exclusive to Destiny. Everyone else realizes why we didn't go forward with that either. But it's treated completely differently on this one specific drama. Now it's like, you're a journalist, Nick. You're just supposed to leak things all the time. Never mind the fact that we hold it against you personally every time you do, even though we want to see desperately what you have.
Really fucking stupid, all right? That was a stupid thing for me to fucking do, all right? But me and Bowblax in private conversation, we talked about this. And he wanted to know, like, why did you do this? And I explained to him,
everything basically you're hearing right now, I imagine.
This in hindsight, I could take the L and say, I defended some things that I didn't need to defend. I inserted myself into some situations that I didn't need to insert myself into, which anybody who knows my history knows that was a bad habit of me. If I liked someone because they were a creator I enjoyed, or because they were a friend of mine or something like that, I always had a bad habit of inserting myself into situations that I didn't need to insert myself into. And these are 3 examples of things like that, okay? I did not need to insert myself into these situations, and I paid a hell of a price by doing so. I basically lost my career as a content creator. I lost my audience. I lost a lot of friends over this shit. Like, I made an ass of myself, and I can own it. I was fucking stupid, all right? But I explained to him my rationale of this is why I did this. I was in this tunnel vision of really being frustrated with the pedo-jacketing that was going on, and it led me to dive onto some landmines that I didn't need to fucking dive on.
I respect him saying all this stuff. And again, I think the only way that you're going to be upset by the way he's talking about this, unless he's genuinely misrepresenting something that I'm not understanding, would be if you're just like, no, I wanted him to turn around and be like, that he is a pedophile or something like that. And if he's anything less than him admitting he's a pedophile would not make you happy. Like, if that's what you're looking for, I can understand why you don't like this, but I think this is fine.
And he looked at that and he's like, I agree. You took some stupid positions, but I can at least understand where you were coming from. And the most important thing to me personally was he indicated that he didn't think I was a pedo, because some people try to call me a pedo because it's the whole Tipster's a lolly defender thing again. Tipster defends lolly. He doesn't think I'm a pedo, and he doesn't think I'm
my only issue is he won't throw Keffals under the bus. Well, I mean, throwing Keffals under the bus sounds inherently malicious, so I wouldn't word it quite like that. And I understand the issue with the Keffals thing, right? It kind of shows that he's still kind of trapped in the same spot because he's not disavowing Keffals, which I don't know if this necessarily requires that. But his whole thing is like, I gunt guard my friends too much, and I'm not going to really talk about Keffals in this video. You could see that as a reason to critique it for sure. Because I mean, I think that standing by Keffals is kind of crazy. I don't know. I haven't really talked to Tipster about it. I think he messaged me, and I apologize. I haven't gotten back to reading his message and replying to it. I've just been so busy recently, so I can't really report back on that. But he did reach out to me privately, and I don't know if it was necessarily about the Keffals stuff, but it was... I will say, this is what else. I skimmed it very briefly. Tipster issued me an apology personally for taking things out on me that weren't necessarily my fault. The initial clip that I had the most problem with when our friendship ended was the clip where he's like talking about my audience and like we're the reason this stuff is happening to him. And it's very obvious now, we're not the reason. Tipster was the reason this was happening to him. And if you go back and look at our DMs from around the time that I put a statement out to describe what happened in the rum leaks, he was telling me specifically that we were not the problem. But then when he became friends with Keffals, he had a very different tune. So I was getting positive reinforcement that we were good and we didn't do anything wrong, while Tipster, on the other hand, would just later decide that wasn't the case. He's privately apologized to me for that. And I appreciated it, if that makes sense. But I have to go through and read the rest to give a reasonable, and I don't even know if I would do that publicly. I wanted to point that out because that was like a major contention I had with Tipster and that he has completely owned up to privately.
LollyCon, and he doesn't think I'm defending Lolly. He just thinks I defended people that I cared about, and I just shouldn't have got involved, okay? That was very important to me that he understood that. And I was like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that you actually...
Keffals supported the sale of bathtub hormones to minors? Yeah, basically. That's the roundabout, yeah.
Understand where I'm coming from. And the moment I tweet something that he thinks is a jab at him in a negative fucking way, it's a lighthearted joke, but he thinks it's a jab at him, suddenly he goes back on all of that and, oh, you're just a lolly.
Tipster went back and catalog. Yeah, he absolutely did that too. Yeah, I mean, I called him out for it. I'm the source of that.
Defender. So he's still doing the same dishonest shit that he's always done. The same dishonest shit he did with the conversation with me and Keffals. He's still at that shit again, right? with the Keffels conversation. He's telling me in private, everything's cool. He's fine. He's happy with the outcome. But publicly, people are shitting on me, and he's letting it happen. And he's playing into it.
Guys, there's like fucking 2 years of tipster-related drama. We could mention 100 different things that's been there. I just don't think it's relevant to his critique of Bowblax. I wanted to reference like the major issue I had with him in the apology, to kind of just close the door on that and give my take on that. But I'm not saying that this video absolves Tipster of every criticism that's been levied to him or anything. That's not my intention. I hope you don't take that away from this.
What needs to happen now is in a few months for Tipster to do something dumb Bowblax to call him out, and then people like Bowblax again, and it's this huge curse where we keep losing one of them every few months.
I gotta be honest with you, I don't think I could like anyone less than Bowblax. I think Tipster is like, I thought at worst Tipster was like absolutely fucking retarded. He did some malicious shit, but I thought the most, maybe I said something different at the time, but I always thought Tipster was kind of a retard. No, I didn't. I said he was a follower who just kind of echoed whoever he was around. And when it became Keffels, it became insufferable. Bowblax is a genuinely malicious entity. Even though people are saying like they're the same because they fight each other all the time and shit, and Bowblax cataloged him, Bowblax is a legitimate malicious entity, and I would never even engage in a conversation with him again. I don't want to follow that guy. I don't want to interact with him again. I don't want to speak to him again, negatively, positively. If I never talk to him again, my life is benefited.
About how I'm a backstabber, and
I said Tipster was a ditto. If Tipster's a ditto, Bowblax is like... Alright, I haven't seen this show, so it's a bad comparison. Who's the guy from Death Note that Hacks really liked? Light Yagami? He's Light Yagami if he was disabled. But he still has just enough information to know what he can do, but he just can't go through with it.
Did him so dirty and stuff like that. Meanwhile, he was telling me something completely different in private. And it's the same fucking...
Like, Bowblax is Light Yagami, but he's cursed with retardation.
Thing here.
And he's Light Yagami, but he can't write or read. Could you imagine? You have the Death Note, but you're illiterate. He's Light Yagami, but he was too retarded to write.
Telling me in private, he thinks what I did was stupid. And I agree with him. And he's telling me, but I understand why you did it. And I don't think you're a lolicon or a
Light Yagalmi,
defender. I just think that you defended some people that you didn't need to defend. Okay, fair enough, right? I agree. But then he comes out and publicly posts this shit.
If Tipster has logs of Bowblax saying that he doesn't think he's a lolly defender, and then he went and posted this publicly, I think that tells you everything you need to know about Bowblax, but I don't think Tipster has earned enough credibility for me to just run with that. But listen to this back again. If this is real, Bowblax is exactly what I said he is.
Lolly defender. I just think he thinks what I did was stupid. And I agree with him. And he's telling me, but I understand why you did it. And I don't think you're a lolicon or a lolly defender. I just think that you defended some people that you didn't need to.
This is why this is fucking nuclear, because Bowblax needs to address this. Those messages need to come out. Because if fucking Bowblax went to Tipster and privately conceded that he's not a lolicon, and then publicly went out and called him a lolicon... Okay, guys. Ultimate Tipster review.
To defend. Okay, fair enough. Right? I agree. But then...
It's probably been over a year. If I haven't done that, this is since I got the new computer. It's probably been like at least half a year.
He comes out and publicly posts this shit. Fuck you, dude. You're still just as dishonest as you always were. Back when people called you out for your fucking dishonesty, you're still the same fucking guy. Alright?
It sounds like Tipster's got it by the balls, but he hasn't shown the proof, so... Keep in mind, he could be lying. We might have to cover this. We might have to give a Bobby W if he's not, if this isn't legit.
Again, I was nice to this dude when I didn't fucking have to be. All right? I could have easily told him, fuck off, you're getting what you deserve, karma's a fucking bitch. But instead, I reached out to this guy. I made sure he was okay. I gave him a fucking ear to hear. I was even open to the possibility that maybe somewhere down the line we can mend the bridge and be cool again, right? But no, the moment I say anything that he thinks was something that was a personal attack at him, he goes back on everything he said in our private conversations. Fuck you, dude. And this whole, I'm not quitting drama. Look at this clip. So we have this tweet. I'm not quitting drama. I never said that.
I've blocked.
He can't be honest about anything. Look at this clip from his stream.
I've blocked a lot of people on my Twitter just because.
No
I
way.
kind of don't want to do.
No way.
Well, this has been a plan for a long time, even before the controversy. But I kind of, well, I was gonna dabble in it a little more on Mayo Monkey, but essentially I'm kind of done with the drama streamer community.
Oh
I've
my
said all I
god.
kinda needed to say.
And by the way, he privately said that he was distancing himself. You could ask Augie or anybody. We were trying to talk him into not doing this. So it's totally not true. Tipster wants it known the convo was private. No, Keldoge, I know, I understand. But obviously him talking about it publicly gives Bowblax the position to drop the DMs if he wants to be proven otherwise. My point is, and I said it earlier, is that Tipster is in a unique position here because these DMs are not out. I don't think he's earned enough credibility for me to blindly accept it. But if he's telling the truth and he went and Bowblax conceded privately that he's not into Lolicon and he's not a defender of Lolicon and then attacked him publicly for it, all that is proof that everything I said about him was true. So if Bowblax wants to deny that or whatever, then he could just show the DMs where he's doing it. But I would recommend that Bowblax does clear this up. It sounds pretty fucking bad if it's true.
And at this point, I was just going to turn that whole like community, which is what I have been doing on Mayo Monkey, into kind of just like a comedic outlook to, or outlet.
I thought in the By the way, this is mauling right now. I'm not quitting drama content. I never said that. He absolutely was quitting drama content. And if anything, he's being uncharitable here because we were telling him he had to cover it more. He was trying to get out of drama content, but he realized he couldn't. So then he kind of was like, I'll do a little bit more of this. I'll do a little bit more of that. He absolutely wanted out completely. And if he had the opportunity to, he would have.
You said you weren't quitting drama content. You never said that. What?
Which is also extremely funny because Tipster did that. And it was like 6 months of live streams from Bowblax.
Shit. But people
like, if I ever start becoming a movie review channel, okay, if I become fucking Nick Variety Hour and I start doing the top 5 Batman movies of all time, I'm going to take a bunch of shit for that. Absolutely, for just being like, guys, I'm quitting drama and I'm going to be making... whenever I retire, when I'm done making drama content, I probably will do this, but I hope it's on good terms. Whenever I'm done and I've said my goodbyes and I feel too old to be covering TikTok influencer drama, I probably will become a movie channel. It's just, I don't want to go out being like, hey guys, I've been criticized one time. Anyways, this is my review of The Great Gatsby.
Take that shit way too seriously. So,
like John Swan's plans? John can't do that. John doesn't watch movies.
Wait, he can't be honest about anything. Literally nothing.
Oh, it was a private call. It wasn't recorded. I can show you the proof it took place, but I don't have proof of what he said. Okay. Well, I'd be interested to see if he lies. If he thinks I can get out of it.
Fucking nothing.
Tipster, this is why you always record, just in case, alright? Especially in hostile conversations, or potentially future hostile interactions. But obviously you called in with the intention of, like, just checking if he was jumping.
So I see this tweet, and honestly, I'm fucking mad. Like, I'm fucking furious at this shit. Like, I know a lot of people probably saw this tweet and thought it was an overreaction.
I bet Bowblax has the recording. Yeah, we'll never hear it if it's as bad as he says.
But you know, behind the scenes, and how nice I was to him, and some of the conversations we had about this shit, I think now you can understand why I would be fucking furious about this, right?
Yeah, I
said, this is why no one fucks with you anymore, Bowblax. You and I have had civil conversations since your drama in private. And even though I think there are valid criticisms to be had towards you, I actually spoke in support of you coming out as non-binary and even refused to engage in the pile-on.
Look, a lot of my chat believes Tipster.
Of you doing sex work. Every time someone grants you even an ounce of goodwill, you find a way to fuck it up. And this is why, going forward, you will forever be a lolcow.
The reason why I personally believe Tipster isn't related to any Tipster credibility thing, it's just because I've seen him do this with every creator he's come in contact with. I mean, this is pure Bowblax. What he's describing here has happened to so many other people. So if it isn't true, I'm sorry, but this is the reputation you like built for yourself, you know? You caused this. This is why people think this about you.
I was probably one of the only people to check on this guy after his leaks to make sure he was okay. And in return, he starts...
Did Augie cover this? Augie reviewed this and gave Tipster a big W? That's crazy.
Talking shit. Fuck off, dude. Literally, I was nice to him when I had no obligation to be nice to him. And in response, he shit in my face. Like, literally. Like, this was one of my comments, like...
Bowblax feels like a guy who's, like, upset that he didn't get the credibility he deserves. So he tries to take shortcuts now to, like, earn that back as quickly as possible. And all of them put him in, like, significantly worse positions than when he started. He wanted subscribers, took a shortcut, put himself in a niche he didn't enjoy. Then he wanted notoriety, so he tried to get it by attacking Tipster, who ultimately would consume him. Then he wanted people to stop thinking he was crazy, so he latched onto a diagnosis for a disease he didn't even know he had, or a condition he didn't even know he had. Personality disorder, more like. Which he turned out he didn't have, which destroyed his credibility even further and ostracized him from all of his friends. But then he wanted me to hurt for it, for attacking him, so he wrote up some shit about how I leaked his sexuality to try to damage me personally, not realizing that I didn't do that, or knowing that, but trying to, like, trying to make it, like, the going narrative. And then, well, what did he do? He started a cross-dressing porn account. So excuse me if I'm not the most charitable for Bowblax's future. It doesn't seem like he's been very... doesn't seem like he's been very on the up and up for a while now.
When the leaks happened, because everybody was shitting on him for being a sex worker. Everybody was shitting on him for being non-binary. They were mocking him for these things. This is what I had to say about it. The problem with Bowblax leaks isn't that they're non-binary or doing sex work. The problem is they're a massive hypocrite. They spend a lot of time shitting on sex workers and queer people, and now they want to live this lifestyle and expect everyone to forget it. Here are some examples. This is them tweeting, Creator Clash 3 now proudly sponsored by Hamas and the other only fans. Shitting on people who do, you know, Fansly or OnlyFans, you know, sex work, like what they do now. Respect Tipster's new pronouns. Shitting on me because I had pronouns in bio. Now, you know, obviously they're out as non-binary. They're using
That's
the
just a good joke. Yeah, not for a person who has a fucking OnlyFans, it's not. Bowblax has said so much shit about OnlyFans, and then he'd ultimately go there to, I imagine, try to pay rent. But I actually think it's not about the money. I think it's his fetish. I think this is a fetish thing for him, and I think it's been widely accepted based off of the weird OnlyFans thing.
As well, which is fine. Obviously, I'm in support of those things. But, like, this is an example of how they have a history of shitting on people for this shit, but now they expect everybody to forget about all this now. The only women who will use this are uglies and OnlyFans hoes trying to promo.
Alright, that's just something you can't say if you're Mrs. Mansheehy.
Shitting on sex workers again, right? And then there's this one. Drunken High Bowblax versus Tipster's Titty Milk. This was a stream that they did where I was in support of Nominal Naomi. They were getting shit on by a bunch of alt-right freaks about, like, you know, their trans identity and being a trans woman who's, like, you know, got a child and they're, like, breastfeeding and shit like that.
I still think that's weird as hell, but...
And they were, like, basically shitting on me for being supportive of Nominal Naomi.
I don't think... The issue... Okay, it's twofold. There's the issue that it happened, and there's the issue that this person felt the need to, like, take pictures and proudly announce they're breastfeeding their kid. That just came off as fucking weird to me. Sorry.
Another, you know, very outspoken, you know, trans advocate. Like, they want to live this life.
It's like, fuck you, hater. I'm breastfeeding my child. It's like, aha, okay.
Style, right? And that's fine. You know, I'm not going to gatekeep and say, like, you know, Bowblax isn't welcome in the LGBTQ community or anything like that. I think that's shitty. I'm not doing that. All I'm saying is you can't expect people to welcome you with open fucking arms after all the shitty things that you've done. Okay? You've been very, like, whether it was your intention or not, you've like fostered a lot of anti-queer like views in your community by doing a lot of this like content, shitting on, you know, people for like
I mean, he's not
supporting
wrong.
queer causes.
He's not wrong. Bowblax he picks and chooses when he likes to be a trans ally, and it's blowing up in his face right now. He's 100% right.
Or like labeling people like me.
He gets to pick and choose when he wants to be an ally to these people, and we used to think it was a virtue signal, but it wasn't. It was just him being malicious towards people he didn't like, and that's when he'd come up as like anti-trans and stuff. Or it was obviously like whatever Mrs. Manchi he is,
who support trans people as just being chasers.
Like, you don't have to support Nominal Naomi to call Bowblax a fraud, because he is.
And shit like that. Like, this is something you did. This is shit, like, these are ideals that you fostered in your community, or intentionally or not. And like, people don't just forget about that. They're not just gonna forget about that fucking overnight, my guy. And then this is the most recent one. This is the one where I get set it off the top, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about this. Bowblax is upset that people are currently shaming their kinks and queer identity. Meanwhile, they are still out here shaming the kinks and queer identity of others. The hypocrisy never ends. I posted this tweet on the 31st, which was yesterday, 31st of January, at the time of this stream. And they had, my understanding is they had tweeted this like at that time. So obviously here's this tweet. We saw it earlier about them saying, I feel like I came out as non-binary at the worst time, in the worst way. So we won't go over that again. This is a conversation in the replies. I'm not questioning your gender identity. I'm questioning why you would post a thigh-high thirst trap without shaving your legs. Apparently they had posted this on Instagram. I don't care. All right, like, that's how they're choosing to...
I quit doing drama Tipster. Listen, I don't think this is a regular drama video from Tipster. I think this is a personal response video. And it's like, you can trash them all you want for, I quit drama. Well, you're doing drama, Tipster. It's like, yeah, but this is the response this is what we asked for like a year ago. Like, we wanted Tipster to release this video before, where he kind of addressed his controversies. We're getting it now, and we're getting, like, decent stuff. I mean, the Bowblax wronged him personally, so I don't really see a problem with him responding to it.
Express their gender, whatever. I'll be honest, I don't fully understand this.
If anything, this helps Tipster close the door on drama, not open it back up.
Particular expression of non-binary gender identity. But at the end of the day, like, non-binary is a very wide spectrum.
A lot of people don't respond to personal shit, it ain't drama. Well, okay, I understand what you're trying to say, Rum. It is drama. He's covering drama, but it's drama pertaining to him. This is him responding to criticism. I guess it's more acceptable if he's doing that than trying to jump in and make money off of the fucking Ethan Klein bandwagon or something like that, right? Which, I don't know, did he do a Destiny video? He might be jumping into drama. I'm just not going to personally bash him for responding and moving on if that's what he wants to do.
People express their non-binary
identity. Oh, you're
identity.
agreeing with me? Oh, sorry. I don't know. I just want to make sure, because, like, I understand. Yeah, it is drama. Responding to criticism is, of course, drama. I just think it's acceptable.
In various different ways. If this is how they're comfortable expressing their identity, fine. Okay? That whatever. You know, I don't have any issue with that. It wasn't meant to be a thirst trap. It's just what I'm wearing today, what you're jacking off in today. Why do y'all have to always talk about me in the sexual way? I get not accepting or understanding my gender, but the consistent sexualization is creepy. Guy with an OnlyFans complains about being sexualized, laughing my fucking ass off. Isn't this the same guy that got upset when Keppel said that she was being sexually harassed by him? And he was like...
Yeah, I think looking back on it, I think we kind of got that wrong. That might be my problem. That might be one thing I have to take back from the Tipster thing, is like... Bowblax seemed really excited to talk about... Like, he did. This is true. Tipster complained that Bowblax and him were cool in private, and then me and Augie had a different reaction, and we were defending him publicly. But it seemed like Bowblax had already kind of resolved the issue. But then Bowblax turned around and pretended he was sexually assaulted by Keffels. Or maybe didn't. Not sexually assaulted. Holy fuck, I'm tired. I'm so sorry. That was a misspeak. I apologize to all parties. Sorry. Sexually harassed in DMs by Keffels. Fucking Christ, that's a horrible image. I'm sorry. I'm almost done here. It's an 8-hour stream. It's a misspeak. It's possible that Bowblax was more inviting to that conversation. And going back and looking at the messages, it kind of looks like he wasn't really bothered that was happening. So maybe it was Bowblax trying to get on everybody's good side and using it as an opportunity to like dunk on Keffals. I could definitely see Bowblax being one of the tricked people who jumped into Keffals' ranks if we didn't reel him in correctly. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. He might have misrepresented those messages. It's totally possible that happened. I think that should be relitigated. People should go back through those messages and look through them, and then maybe I'll cover it on stream. That'd be an interesting thing to look back on. Was he really mad that Keffals sent Jiggle Physics Sonic the Hedgehog shit to him or not?
Quote tweeting her on his throbbing horsecock account about how he wanted to like have sex with her and shit like that, and how she had like massive fucking boobs and shit. I don't remember the exact tweets, but he was like tweeting some like genuinely like what the fuck stuff, dude, from that account.
And on the throbbing horsecock stuff, yeah, he was tweeting weird shit about Keffals, and we all kind of thought that was a joke and all the stuff, but I don't know now.
Towards Keffals, and he got mad when she got uncomfortable with it. This is the same fucking guy, right? Paradise for Animal J. Smith. A YouTuber who spent $14,000 on a realistic dog costume is now opening a zoo where people can become animals. If you're not familiar with the Animal J. Smith lore, Animal J. Smith was somebody who worked at Rainbow Passage. He was like a volunteer for Rainbow Passage, which is a LGBTQ plus charity. This is the same charity that
Bowblax went really hard on this. I don't think we went super deep on the Rainbow Passage stuff, but I might be wrong.
In his community,
I don't personally remember what that guy did.
Simply because I retweeted it. I'm not even joking. That's a real fucking thing that happened, all right? Now, there's valid criticism to have about Animal J. Smith. More specifically, he was found to be posting on Blue Sky questioning the legitimacy of some people's trans identity while also working for a charity that supports trans.
Yeah, but Bowblax wouldn't be somebody who could criticize him for that.
Trans people. Not a good look. I think there's valid criticism to be had in that regard, and he probably shouldn't be working for an LGBTQ charity doing stuff like that, which is why he was removed from said charity, okay? So there's valid criticism to be had for the guy. But the whole, like, basically shitting on him for his kinks, while at the same time, you're, like, crying that people are shitting on you for your kinks.
Rainbow Passage Doggy 9/11 roleplay director is Tipster approved. Is this before or after Bowblax dug deep into fine stuff? Or maybe that's the same stream.
And shitting on you for your queer identity?
Because I don't know if this is being said out of context, but if Bowblax is like, hey, this person's got weird sex kinks, and they run like a trans thing, and Tipster likes them, and that's why I'm investigating. That's an interesting entry point.
Like, talk about hypocrisy. That's like an insane level of hypocrisy. So,
I mean, for Bowblax now, that sounds like a crazy thing to do, especially when he's complaining about the way he's treated. But I thought they found something on the Animals J. Smith guy.
I tweeted this and I said, there's valid criticism to be had for Animal J. Smith, but this just ain't it. You're not doing yourself any favors, Bovey. I also said, just to be clear, I'm not fond.
Holy shit, dude. Oh, wait, this is recent. Never mind. I'm sorry. This is fucking... I thought this was last year in January. I'm not fond of the kink shaming or queer identity shaming. Okay.
Of the kink shaming. Several ever. That's my problem with you, Bowblax. Okay. So, and I was still nice to you.
I thought there was more to that story. I don't know.
And your response was to shit on me and basically take back anything that you said to me in our private conversation.
But you can't really deny the fact that the only reason it was investigated at all is because Tipster retweeted it. So there's got to be something wrong with the trans thing if Tipster's retweeting it. That's why he went after it, which is kind of flying in the face of how he wants to be treated now.
You're a massive fucking hypocrite. You're a massive fucking snake. And it's no wonder nobody fucks with you anymore because of shit like this.
He was looking at kidnap fetish stuff while working at a charity, supposedly moving people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say anything definitive, but I don't know necessarily if this guy was totally on the up and up. I'm not willing to just blindly support him based off of this because I remember there was some weird unsavory stuff. So I'm not gonna I'm not putting my Nick DeOrio seal of approval on Animal J. Smith because he's fighting with Bowblax or Tipster's fighting with Bowblax.
Learned nothing from this situation at all. And this is why you'll forever be alone. This is why forever no one will ever fuck with you again.
True. And
I'm just done with you, dude. Like, the funny thing about it is, like, he had the nerve. Can I pull this up? He had the nerve the other day. I put out one of these tweets critical of him, and he had the nerve to like the fucking tweet. Can I pull this up? Because I know I sent this to somebody in a DM. But I don't know if I could actually pull it up. He had the nerve to like the tweet? Like, bro, fuck you. I don't need your fucking like. I don't need your approval of what I had to say.
Based.
Put out this tweet being critical of him with good reason, and he fucking likes it. Just silently likes it, like, oh, good point, Tipster. Good point, dude. This is the same sort of thing he tried to do to me when he was trying to like buddy up to me when he didn't have anybody else the first time. He just like quietly like, unblocked me because he had me blocked when we had previous like, beef before. He, is suddenly getting shit on by everybody else, so he doesn't have anybody else, so he unblocks me and he starts like liking tweets and stuff like that. And it's like his way of trying, hey man, can we be buddies again? Like, is that what this is? Because no, I'm not fucking interested.
Tipster's 100% right. Bowblax is looking for friends anywhere he can find it. He's trying desperately to make friends over at H3H3. I hope they deny him every step because he's a clout-hungry leech who desperately wants a career back that he absolutely doesn't deserve and wasn't entertaining enough to earn the first time. I won't be surprised if he tries to come around and be friendly with us again, even though we've said horrible fucking things and mean shit to him and stuff like that. I don't think he cares. I think he's more interested about maintaining the lifestyle he currently lives and paying his mortgage than he cares about really anything else. Unless you've wronged him, in which case he's an autistic warhead and he's going to target you for the rest of your life. So, all right. I just got a funny message from Chud, but I'm not going to read it. All right, guys, we're going to do Just a Robot. Are you guys familiar with Just a Robot? We recently just watched his video where he responds to all the hate. There's a video where Benedict Cumberbatch didn't know how to say penguins. What do you call it? Like a penguin? Dude, the penguins. Just a Robot is the man, all right? They're back, okay? This is the response to the recent video and the hate that it got. People were speculating that Just a Robot released this video intentionally because Chud was going on vacation and wouldn't be around to cover it. And I think that's the funniest outcome, so I'm going to choose to believe that it's real, but note that it probably isn't, or maybe might not be. Maybe we'll find out in this video, who knows? This is a 50-minute phone call between Jar and some person whose name I don't know. Let me see if their channel's on screen. Ace Space or whatever, under 1K YouTuber. They have a video about it. We're going to watch the Raw, though, because for fuck's sake, I'm not interested in hearing commentary about this. I kind of know the lore. Jar made a video saying that he denies having a fart fetish, says that he defended the weird predator person, but did not want to sleep with them and loves his girlfriend very much. And then the allegations of him being weird on Discord are very much exaggerated. Now, I just spoke to Jar recently. I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but I'll mention it now. Jar thanked me personally for helping get his channel back. I don't know how much I contributed to that, but obviously, as much as we're criticizing Jar, I just want to point out that like nobody here thinks that Jar is a malicious entity. On the retarded to malicious scale, he mostly goes towards retarded. I don't think that he's done anything super outwardly malicious, and if he has, I'm not aware of it, I guess. Zaint in chat says that he's very malicious. I don't know. The Jar fart fetish allegations, yeah. he's pretty malicious. I don't know. He's malicious based on other events. Well, I don't know about other events, but I know about this situation, and it seems like he was mostly just stupid in this one. So this is the call. This is somebody's OBS. Boom. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
Hello, Ace.
Hello.
All right. Yeah, I guess it's time for the call then.
Yeah, that's
all right.
What a great start. Hello. Okay, I guess it's time to call now. Yeah, I mean that would be what this is. Yeah, sure.
So, I guess like I had a lot of questions to ask you with your video, and this is an attempt to try to get your side, obviously. So,
you know what's like? I was sitting there for like a solid 30 seconds when Jar DM'd me. I went, I could easily get this guy into a call, and he would absolutely just let me record him without his knowledge. And then I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm a better person than this. I'm going to take the thank you and move on and not say anything else. But just know it would have been so easy. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. This guy just keeps calling people. This is like the 8th leaked phone call. I didn't go over any of the other ones. This is like the 8th leaked phone call of Jar that I've seen.
For starters, I was brought a claim to me, not yesterday, but during the live stream, that there were some parts that you were allegedly lying about, and I wanted to hear your side about it. So, are you familiar with your segment? Like, you remember your segment with the ponder thing, right?
I forgot. What is the ponder thing again, chat?
So, when you said in your video that she made that maid dress with like
is this the artwork of what's her name? Is this the artwork of the Jaden Animations woman?
Without your consent, right? I was
Oh no, this is the VidCon incident. Yeah, okay.
told that Ponder had your consent.
Well, I have no idea. Like, I really don't remember.
This is not starting off well. Yeah, I was told that Ponder had your consent. I don't know.
I mean, if there's evidence that
If there's evidence, if you've got evidence that proves me wrong, well, that would suck.
I gave her my consent, then there's that. But I definitely wasn't in contact with her with the thumbnail thing, and I did say I don't really care.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I just feel it's a little weird personally to be included, but like these were DMs I was given by I guess Lio for Ponder or something like that of like what you guys had. It doesn't really show much besides her having the conversation with you, and it being.
I mean, I don't see how this implies consent.
What is this on screen right now?
Allegation, I guess, like from her side is just.
Why the fuck is Jar dressed up like Hassan Piker on screen right now in this call? What's happening in this Discord server? We've got Chud Logic right here. All right. We've got Just a Robot. This person has played Minecraft. And there's some guy named Y and some guy named G in here. Okay. This guy's got Chrome on his desktop. That's cool. OBS. This guy's a fellow Edger. You can see he's got Edge right there. Hasn't removed the Windows Store. That's kind of weird.
She asked you in a call, which obviously is going to be he said, she said.
Isn't it amazing that, like, time and time again, the evidence of what I've done is in calls that are not recorded?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't see the point of recording this call.
It's just I'm the liar.
I don't get it.
When it comes
Why
to...
wouldn't you just say I never said that? And then, like, if you're confident you never said it, why wouldn't you just say you never said it? It's like, isn't that interesting that all their evidence comes from recorded call? Like, he's leaving it open, the fact that he might have said these things. Now, obviously, he doesn't know he's being recorded here, but whatever.
He said, she said, and that's how it happens.
Right. I see. And, like, I know, like, another thing that was brought up is, I guess, with the timeline of how it went, you remember your Jaden Animations video? It was, I guess, I was only sent a clip of it, but it was about you talking about, like, if people don't want to make Jaden, like, if she doesn't want porn made of her character, then you shouldn't, right?
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
That clip was sent to me, and apparently the timeline of that was, like, just as how it was framed to me, so I'm asking you. Apparently you made that video after the whole Jaden Animation NSFW thing happened? Would that be accurate? Okay.
Yeah, years later, I changed my mind on that. I never...
A year later, I was like, I'm gonna draw your fucking pussy.
sent that picture out, and it's not... Even then, I don't think that picture is that NSFW. I mean, I was always planning to talk about the Jaden
Would you give it to your
thing.
boss? Dude, him saying it's not that NSFW explains why he can't hold down jobs. It's like a girl lifting her shirt, dude. Would you send that in a fucking work meeting?
Eventually.
That's what NSFW means, work. PSN's back up? No way!
Because I'm going to be honest here, you can come across it just by accident if you just search up Google Jaden Animations on Google Images. So,
dude, this guy knows a lot about Jaden Animations Rule 34. I agree, though. I don't think it's like you can't draw porn of my avatar. Like, that's a little stupid. You probably should never say that out loud. But like simultaneous, like there are so many people who have some weird sexual attraction to like a drawn picture of Jaden Animations specifically because she says you're not allowed to do that. They're like, they go out of their way to become like horny over avatars because of it's just there's two sides of the coin and both are degenerates.
I think I was originally planning to use that as a thumbnail. I just didn't get to that video for like years, and by the time I did, I completely forgot that was drawn for me.
Right. Okay. Because I guess like there's also a second thing in that clip that was a little interesting. I know like in your video you say something like you say something along the lines that the manga common art and the Jade animation things was like the only thing like either NSFW/porn thing that you requested.
As far as I remember, yes.
Yeah, and I think in that same clip, you say something like that, if you want to make porn of my character, I don't care. Like,
yeah, I don't. Yeah, but I'm not going to like go up to
That's not the same thing as a commission, so that's kind of a nothing point.
someone in DMs and be like, "Hey, please make porn of me." Like, if you want to make porn of me, go ahead. I don't care.
By the way, this is like the Bowblax. Like, if you accidentally call me she, then like I'm okay with that. Like, if you guys want to draw a porn of my avatar, I'm totally cool with this. Like, there's just no person in the history of planet Earth that would ever do that.
See. All right, hold on one moment because I was also sent a screenshot too. I guess it would count as a contradiction to the word that you said, but I don't know. This one is what I was sent. That's what I'm referring to. Because apparently you said this on Twitter. Do you have to remember the context of that? Or no?
It was, yeah, I've seen
About
it.
time someone made gay porn of me, and then he quote tweeted it, but the tweet is no longer existing, so no one would know if it's real.
It's me saying,
And again, this wouldn't even be him commissioning it, so I don't know why we're here.
like, I think in the clip I say things like, your dick is slandering me or something, and there's like a bunch of guys around me. It's hard to remember because the exactly what it was because well, there's nothing there in that screenshot. Kind of weird that people look through my Twitter that far back.
No, it's not. You're in the middle of a controversy, and this app has a fucking search feature. You don't think the first thing they did was log into your Twitter and then search the word porn to see what comes up? You don't think that for just a second that people would literally search your on mobile, you could just hit the search button on your name.
Right. Okay, because
And I'm going to be honest here, you have to be a good sport when stuff like that happens. You can't just be like, no, please don't do this. Like, I guess I could have ignored it as well, but, you know, eventually, no matter who you are on the internet, eventually you're going to have gay porn drawn of you, depending on how big you get. So I was like, yeah, it's about time something like this happened.
You know, all right, listen. There are two things that are happening here. One, I don't think that's true, but now that I said it, it will exist. Listen, I've been fairly successful online. I'm not going to toot my own horn here. I'd say I've been fairly successful online, and this has not happened yet. Now, someone made a sex tape to me, and I know now by saying it out loud, somebody will. But if somebody did, the last thing I would do is retweet it onto my feed. I would never knowingly retweet Rule 34 of myself to my fucking audience. That is extremely fucking weird. I don't think it's weird in like a creepy sex pest perversive way, but like, who the fuck wants to see that?
Okay. I mean, okay, I get like that perspective. I guess like it would just be like the clip of you saying like in your own video, you say like these are like the only two instances I've
like. I would just
asked
block the sender and then never interact with them again.
requested it.
If
And
ever
I guess
at all.
in your video, it would technically count as a contradiction if you said if you want to make gay porn of my character, go for it. But
Oh yeah, I mean, if you want to make porn of my character, go for it. But I'm not going to say make porn of my character. There's
Right.
like a difference. Like, I think it's a retarded analogy, but think of it like a washed car. If you want to go up to my car and wash it and clean it for me, awesome. Happy if you did that, or I don't mind. But if I like told you, hey, can you wash your car for me? That's a request.
right, so you're more saying the difference is these are things you've genuinely requested versus what you're giving consent to, right?
Right.
Okay. I guess yeah, I could see it from that angle. All right. And I guess like let's see, because there's a couple other things with the video. Personally, when I watched it, right, it kind of felt like there were some moments that it felt like you were blaming other things than, you know, taking accountability. For example, right, there was a moment in the video that you even say that Himpleton's cancellation put a significant amount more attention onto your cancellation, as if it was kind of like his fault for why you're getting canceled, or at least he was like a big part of it.
Let me brace for a second.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think these questions are super good so far. Like none of this stuff is like really fucking. I don't know. Maybe it'll get more spicy, but I'm not super interested so far.
I mean, that statement was factually true. I said him getting canceled caused my drama to blow up even more. I wasn't blaming anything on him. I just said something that is absolutely true. Him getting canceled did make my drama blow up more. Now, it's like only added like maybe 5% of it. But
Yeah, Jar, you were fucked ahead of time. Himpleton didn't even need to be mentioned in your video, but I mean, I think it's funny that he was because it kind of sucks.
it's not like I really don't know how I came across as putting all the blame on Himpleton.
Well, not all on
Obviously,
Himpleton. I feel like there's a couple examples I would say. Like Himpleton's just one of them. Another one I would say is it seems like you even blamed the reason why you uploaded your video just because Kubo uploaded your early version first, a day before that you were planning to upload it anyways. And
yeah, in the morning. But the thing is, like, I was waiting for my roommate to come home to do extra research, reach out to Birdie, all this stuff. And even then, I've never, ever had a video of mine leaked out early, especially, let alone one with such a sensitive topic.
Why are you posting unlisted, like, 1.0 VODs on YouTube? Like, I don't understand. Like, it would be more self-explanatory if a video of yours leaked out from a Google Drive link than, like, just an active thing that's sitting unlisted, ready to release, or so we thought, on your profile, attached to your name. Like, if you were in that situation and your video leaked and people are giving negative reception to it, and it was from a Google Drive link, you'd say, like, hey, I was going to make this video, and, like, yeah, it's really bad, and somebody talked me out of it, and I'm super sorry people are seeing it now. Like, you can navigate around that, but you can't navigate that, I guess, if it's, like, on your profile.
Where I'm going against the grain. So I did panic upload it with what I had. But
And then panic uploading it, it's like, no, that's entirely your fault. You navigated this horrendously. And, like, why did you even... none of this makes sense, dude.
Here. Let's just say, for all I know, I could have reached out to Birdie, and I could have made an even worse video, for all I know. I just never had someone leak out a video of mine early because...
I mean, realistically, what I would have thought if it happened on that day, to be honest, you probably would have got nothing from Birdie. Birdie's been ignoring every commentator. So it kind of just makes me wonder if the results would have changed that much, to be honest, rather Kumo leaked it or not.
That is true, but then there's also my roommate coming home and looking over the doc with him and also doing extra research, looking over a whole bunch of videos on the topic. You see, I'm dyslexic, so...
Oh my god, dude, in the middle of this... By the way, I think he's been answering well so far, and in the middle he's like, by the way, guys, I'm fucking retarded, I'm dyslexic, please ignore me. Please be patient with me, I have, like, fucking dyslexia, dude. Yeah, Professor Dreadlock has been invoked.
I do my research in a very different way from most people because of how bad my dyslexia is. And
dude, if your dyslexia is like affecting your ability to do research, then you probably shouldn't be a commentary YouTuber. I don't know.
I was waiting for my roommate to come home. He was on a business trip.
Dude, Professor Dreadlock was in the middle of doing his Professor Dreadlock business activities.
And then I got so shocked by Kumo leaking out that video. But who knows? For all I know, I might have told my roommate, hey, I think my video looks good enough. I don't want to do any further research. I'm just going to upload it as is because...
Wait, he might have told his roommate that... Wait, that would completely contradict everything he said in his video. Is this guy, like, fucking completely brain dead? I might have told my roommate that the video is just great and we're just going to launch it anyway. Who cares? What? Wait, did I mishear that?
He was on a business trip at a really bad time, and then I got so shocked by Kumo leaking out that video. But who knows? For all I know, I might have told my roommate, hey, I think my video looks good enough. I don't want to do any further research. I'm just going to upload it as is because I understand.
Dude, this guy has no idea what he said to anybody. This is like the opposite of the Nick DeOrio fucking memory memes, all right? This guy literally he doesn't even remember what he said a couple of weeks ago. I think he's being dishonest. Well, yeah, it's probably like a Denims thing, but I think it's reasonable to say that. I also think this guy might just be so fucking stupid that he might not remember what he said.
The video looks like it's fully edited, but
like he was in the middle. He had a fugue state in the middle of this. Dude, he literally had a fugue state in the middle of the controversy because a video had never been leaked before.
Seen the old version of my Cine video, the one where I was bashing her. I don't know if you came across that. That was also pretty much fully edited, and I reused a lot of it for the current draft I had. I ended up uploading. Realistically speaking, I think I could have just changed 10% of my Cine video to make it completely different.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I just feel like not much would have changed if I'm going to be like blatantly honest. Just because.
All right, but we can't know that, so it doesn't matter.
It was a day before it was uploaded. I know you said you're going to do more research into it.
Oh, that does matter. Yeah, it's the day before it's dropping. That's a little bit more important. Yeah,
I guess I would just ask why pass the early version around.
Well, plan to upload is always a maybe, but I want to get others' thoughts on it.
So this was a final draft. Is that like... This isn't the official thing that's being released, but this is like the final draft for the video before it comes out. I thought it was a very early version.
Ideas off of people. I've been doing this with multiple other videos. I've had many people check over my videos. Like I've done this with Lio, I've done this with Peaches, I've done this with my roommate especially. Because let's be honest here, I'm not the most socially aware person, so sometimes it's good to get feedback from others.
Sure.
And
I mean, I guess just to not to mean like to cut you off or anything, but have you ever had Romantic Goblin like revise your videos before this?
Could you repeat that?
Have you ever?
Oh my god, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fucking blow a gasket. I can't listen to this guy. Fuck you. That was what?
I mean, I guess just to not to mean like to cut you off or anything, but have you ever had Romantic Goblin like revise your videos before this?
Could you repeat that?
What do you mean? It was like one sentence.
Goblin revise your videos before this?
Nope. It's just she was connected to the situation so much that I thought she knew what was going on because according to her and Kumo, they talked with Cine and she was completely honest with them and all this other stuff. This was the first time I ever asked Goblin to look over something for me.
By the way, I just looked down on my phone. I just want to remind somebody. Okay, so listen. All right, you guys use our subreddit. You guys use Clip Live. Go check out Clip Live if you want to use our subreddit. Okay, totally cool. You should definitely do that. But someone was trying to make an effort post to explain the Sam Hyde allegations from Kiwi Farms. Okay, guys, it's not getting to me. Kiwi Farms is banned site-wide. I can't do anything about it. It never makes it to me. I go to click on this guy's account while he's messaging me. It says their Reddit account is suspended. All right, stop trying to post through it. You can't link to fucking Kiwi Farms. They're gonna take down the fucking subreddit if it somehow sneaks through. You're not allowed to post there. Okay. Also, I don't know why you're posting that in our subreddit. I don't know what it has to do with us, but whatever, go for it. Maybe it's informative stuff. I would like to take a look at it, but it's not allowed. You can't do that on there. So maybe a tweet next time would suffice a little bit better. You can't really... Yeah, if you go on the subreddit, please do not spam links to Kiwi Farms, because it will get your account banned before it even makes it to my, moderation. I can't take these things down because they never make it to me. So, yeah. What's up with Sam Hyde? I think it's about, the 16-year-old girl thing, right? Probably. I imagine that's what it was about. But, again, I can't see it, so... It was Null has commented on it or something.
This was actually the first time I ever interacted with her.
I mean, it's fucking Reddit. What did you expect? I know we make jokes calling it Kiwi Farms Jr., but, it's not fucking Kiwi Farms. You can't post that there. They'll ban your whole shit and then IP ban you from the site.
I think she would send it to Kumo after I explicitly told her, don't show it to anyone.
Wait, so this was even, you said this was your first time even interacting with Goblin, right?
Yep.
Okay. I know sometimes you lack social awareness, but what would make you, have so much trust in the Goblin not to send it? I mean, you're a 200k figure, right?
I know. It's just, I've never had that happen before. This was the first time something like this has ever happened.
I think it's reasonable that you'd expect, but again, dude, this is your big video that has an extremely serious allegation tied to it. I feel like you got to give this a little bit more, I don't know, is it's never happened to me before really a justified answer as to why you distribute a version of this video early? Kind of willy-nilly? I mean, this is I don't know, dude. Imagine if this happened with Ethan Klein's content nuke, and he's I can't believe it. Nobody's ever leaked my video before. It's Ethan, it's the content nuke. Of course people are going to share it around. I'm sorry it got leaked, but that's kind of the expected thing.
And I guess I just got lucky up to this point. The only other problems I've ever had was people leaking that I was in a group, and that's it.
You know what? All right. How about, did you have Relolin at least revise it, or no?
Who?
Relolin.
Relolin? All of these people should be sent to it. They all should be deported to, fucking Antarctica.
Relolin.
Around, your Cinebear video, did you have Relolin ever look through it?
I apologize. I don't think I know who that is.
No. Well, yeah, you know who it is. He is. We talked about him yesterday as well. He was. He's literally the guy that was talking to you a little bit.
Rel?
Yeah. Oh, you know him as Rel. Okay.
He's stating an ahistorical, counterfactual. Dude. All right. Listen. I don't know what Aiden's done to this community, but I've never in my life heard the term ahistorical counterfactual again. Please talk like a human being. Where he's done the extra birdie research, he might at that point have told his roommate his video was fine, no checking needed.
No,
I know what you mean. Whatever the fuck that phrase is terrible.
At that point, I didn't want anyone to check over my responses or anything. The only two people I showed it to was my girlfriend and roommate. And one other YouTuber who I would prefer to keep anonymous, but he's someone who's known me for many years.
Okay, so I'm just kind of confused because obviously you have people that are your friends that you could trust on the platform, right? It's I just don't know why you would revise it with a stranger. I mean, I don't know. I kind of get confused with that decision a little bit.
I understand it was mostly because she was so connected to the situation. And I also asked Akumo and Miss Anthroponi, as I proved in my video.
Miss
It was a very
Anthroponi.
stupid decision I made.
All these people sound like bronies. They all sound like fucking like weird brony creatures.
Trusting her with that information.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like drill into it too much because obviously you understand. But
yeah, I
feel like if you understand what's happening, that's a problem. That's probably not a good thing to hear from your YouTube narrator, but like, if any of these names are really linking up and you're hearing what's going on right now, you're like, dude, I don't know. Might be in too deep.
Just,
Who's worse, Jar or Denims? Objectively, Jar. I'm sorry. Objectively, Denims.
Jar or Denims?
Denims by far. Denims sweep.
After this, literally one of the top 5 videos I didn't want to get leaked out before it was ready.
Denims and Jars don't even keep her on the good side, dude.
It got leaked out, so I'm just not going to have people look over videos unless I know them IRL at this point.
I mean, that's probably going to be the smarter move, to be honest. At least if you've literally like interacted with them for like over a year, maybe. But like, I don't know. It's just, yeah, I get it. I guess.
Can you give me an example of a video getting leaked out aside from mine?
A video getting leaked out, like in general?
Yeah, like aside from mine.
Creepshow Art, didn't her thing get leaked? Am I completely off on that? Well, I had a whole leaked revised script version of Creepshow's video that I like, the edited one where she took out all the tipster hate.
Well, I'm going to be honest, not a lot of people make the decision to give their response videos or their, covering like a very controversial topics to complete strangers to review. So normally it doesn't get leaked.
All right, this is kind of fucking terminal. I don't know, dude. I've run full videos by people before. Like, people have linked me stuff and asked me to watch it early. This is a little ridiculous now. I don't know. I can't sit here and just, like, listen to this guy ramble on and ramble on. At, like, a higher level of YouTube, people do this all the fucking time. The expectation is their shit's not going to leak. I don't know what it's like over there, but we have, like... Our community is known for backstabbing each other, but all of us have regularly been able to check things or whatever, or have people check things if we absolutely needed it, without any crazy thing happening. I don't know.
Leaked out, per se? I'm trying to think of, like, one where it happens, but... Usually people don't make that decision.
Like, I send versions of my videos before they get made out to people all the time, and I try to get feedback before I post it because I want to know how people are going to perceive it. That's like a totally reasonable expectation to have.
I understand. It was just because she was close to the situation, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people have done this before me. It just didn't happen.
I mean, I get, okay, like, I'm really not trying to, like, hammer in, but, like, I get that, like, okay, Goblin was involved in the situation. Yes, 100% get that. But, like, wouldn't you have at least known that, like, Kubo and like, their whole, like, group at least dislike you? I mean, you always talk about, like, how the art community hates you. So it's just...
The Kumo and Goblin are more anti-art CC, to be fair. But, even...
I feel like this guy's kind of making me feel bad for Jar right now. I don't know. Look, what's the point of this call being leaked so far? We're 15 minutes into it at 1.25 speed, and I haven't learned a single thing about Jar yet. That's, like, valuable. Like, all of these kind of things seem like hypocrisy hunting. There's no real... I mean, maybe we'll get somewhere eventually, but usually when these leaked calls happen, it's not like a YouTube video where there's a slow build. You kind of have the questions you want immediately, so you can get in and get out if you chase the guy off, right? These are, like, I'm expecting a leaked call to have some pretty fucking important stuff in the beginning.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, they're more anti-art CC, to be fair, but I didn't want to interact. I didn't show it to Kumo because, like, I didn't know what he would do because Kumo can be a bit unpredictable, and I didn't think Goblin would send it to Kumo. I didn't think that would happen, and I didn't think even if he did get it, he would upload it so soon. And it just threw me for a loop because I was surprised. I was like, Kumo, you're already kind of on the losing side here. Probably not the best idea to make more problems for yourself, but I think he saw me as a way to get out of the situation, but I don't know. I don't know what's in the guy's heart. This is just me guessing, and right now I'm autistically rambling, so I'm going to stop.
Well, he at least is a little self-aware.
I mean, I think it's very clear Kumo does not like you by any constellation of the imagination.
That's understatement of the decade.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very much of an understatement. But
I may not be the most socially aware person, but I don't think people who call me a rapist are fans of me.
Or a bigoted racist.
Damn!
Yeah, like... He called you a lot of things. Yeah, he called you a lot of things. But let me think. I guess like another thing where it kind of felt like a little bit like of an excuse in my opinion, which I know you're probably going to say it's because you're dyslexic, but it's like it kind of felt like you were even like blaming the size of the document. for it being like too long.
I think that Jar's voice makes him a vocal rapist. That's the closest thing to a rapist that I would call him.
You didn't like go over all of it, or at least
Like his intelligence is vocally raping me.
I understand. I do still stand behind what I said. I do think the shorter document was a lot better. Like the first document, I was like looking over and I was like, wow, this is all over the place. But I will admit, absolutely, I should have done better research. That is on me.
All right. I mean, fair enough. And I guess like just remembering off the top of my head, there's also like a thing around that you said at the end of the video, right?
Dogpack's voice is way worse. Yeah, I'd actually agree with that. That might be a hot take, but I think Dogpack's presentation is way worse.
I was kind of like confused with it. You said something along the lines of, like, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember it.
People are
100%.
comparing, like, do you think Denims is worse or Jar is worse? And it's like, bro, I think that it's like we're so far away. Denims is objectively worse. People like Dogpack are worse than Jar.
Along the lines of, I would love to like go and debunk every single little thing, but I feel like if I made this video any longer, no one would watch it. Something along those lines. Do you remember that?
I said I wanted to debunk more claims about me, but if I made this video longer, people won't watch it because, in my humble experience, when response videos are too long, people tend to not watch them, and maybe not the smartest thing to say, but I felt like
I would just never have included that. I would have just said I responded to everything because you responded like it was like an hour-long video already. It was like 50, 40 minutes or something.
Went into more detail or talked about things for longer. Like sometimes saying
why would you want to leave it like I've cut things out of my video? Because then people are going to say, oh, you've cut things out of your video. You had more to say, but now you're hiding from certain subjects. You cherry pick topics or whatever. You just turn around and say the rest of this stuff doesn't matter.
More. Because, I mean, like, look at what I'm in right now, just with what I've said, so many questions. If it was longer, it would have been even more questions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like if it was longer, definitely more people would have watched the full thing. 100%, I feel like. Just because, like, with what I even seen with, like, your video on Cine, that was nearly, like, what, like an hour and 40-ish minutes? Like, roughly.
Yeah,
And people watched the whole thing of that.
Yeah, because it was...
Minutes.
Yeah, it was,
All right, he kind of has the Denims mental thought process going. Any minute now, Jar.
I mean, it is a different ballpark. That Cine video was much more heavily edited. I mean, I didn't want to heavily edit my response video because I thought that would make people think I was having fun with it, and that could have reflected poorly on me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think you just had to heavily edit it. I mean, there probably could have been a couple more things to respond to, because I know, like, some things were still asked, which I did kind of ask a little bit before, but it's just some of the things that you said in that interview. Like,
the main thing
example,
that you
like,
need
I
in
think
these
we
response
definitely talked about
videos, and it's obviously not enough to just go in with it, but the main thing that you need in these videos is confidence. You need to remain confident from the beginning to the end, because that will give people a bit to work off of. Like, okay, this guy is literally, like, oozing confidence right now. I'm going to be more inclined to believe what he's saying. If you sound like a stuttering little bitch or whatever the entire time, and you act like you're just fucking, oh, I wanted to put in more, but feel bad for me, feel bad for me, feel bad for me, people aren't going to navigate that as well.
This one, but it was like, even like the 16-year-old thing with the phrasing of that, I feel like it would have been helpful to you to, frame that a bit better, frame your understanding and, like, your thought process a bit better in the video about that, because obviously a lot of people got the impression of, well, if this guy sees a 16-year-old, he's trying to get out of there because he can't trust himself, which obviously we explained, and that's not what you
I mean, look at Pro Jared's response video. That guy did some pretty fucking weird shit, but he gets out of that completely by just coming in and being like, I've got the receipts, and just fucking debunking it or whatever. Like, people still comment on my old videos saying that I'm too hard on Pro Jared, and he's like definitively debunked every single claim against him. And I'm like, hey dude, so that's cool, and I agree with you that he debunked a lot of like bad faith stuff, and I'm not like gonna fucking come in here and attack him over it or whatever. But I do want to ask you, why exactly did the guy continue to sex his fans without age verification, and then when Tumblr was banned because there was so much child porn on the site, he didn't go, holy shit, this is actually a really dangerous thing that could totally ruin my career or make me do, or maybe actually accidentally engage with somebody who's underage by mistake. But then he just went and did the same thing on Snapchat and raised the age to like 21. Like, none of these people that you're interacting with are able to verify their age, and you're just going to sext with them as like Sin Jared and make references to it on your main social media, Twitter and stuff like that, right? if you're acknowledging that you're putting yourself in a horrible position, why continue doing it over on Snapchat, which would ultimately get a very similar reputation that Tumblr had at the time?
Yeah, I didn't want like single guy in a pool. Obviously, I didn't know her age, but when I was by myself and that family showed up, I was like, I was almost done anyway, so I was like, I kind of want to get out of here. Plus, I won't lie, this was when I used to go on.
Are we sure he isn't IDing on
that's when you smoke
Snapchat
weed and
now?
swim, and
Well, I don't know what he's doing now. I just know what he was doing in 2019. Was it 2019? I forgot what year it was. I don't know. Wherever my Pro Jared response video is, it's been like fucking 4 years.
weed does make you very paranoid.
Snapchat in 2025 is for crimes and nudes. Yeah, literally.
Oh no! What am I gonna do?
Right, yeah. I mean,
honestly, I think the reaction to what I said kind of proves my point. Like, if me just saying, hey, that could have happened and people are reacting like this, then I think I was smart because
Pro Jared, yeah, 6 years ago.
I just don't want to be around in a situation like that with someone dressed like that. And
Why is Pro Jared's only issue sexting fans? He was ultimately cheating. Well, the reason is, and most people don't like saying this out loud, is most people don't give a flying fuck if an influencer is cheating on their partner. It's only performative if you don't like the person. I don't know who the fuck their partner is. I don't know these people. I don't even consider them to be people. When I talk about people like Jar, right, it's even easier when I don't have to put a face to their name, because honestly, I think that these people mentally stop existing when I turn off their video. I don't treat anybody online like human beings. like I would treat my friends or something like that. I don't know. They're just. I, to you, chat, am a figment of your imagination. As soon as the stream ends, I cease to exist. You ever hear the meme of like the teacher lives at the school and that's how you want to view them or whatever? That's what I am to you. Okay. As soon as I turn the stream off, I no longer exist. But tomorrow, if I come back on Twitter, that's when I begin to exist again. You know.
in the water, I mostly just went by myself.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Okay, I want to make this clear. I'm not saying, oh, I don't like, I might have done something.
Like, I don't want a relationship with you guys the way Pro Jared seems to. I don't want to, like, have late night conversations and sleep streams with my audience and stuff. I think that we should have a professional relationship of I make funny stream content calling people bitches, and you guys come in and enjoy it or not enjoy it, and that's your prerogative. I think that's basically all I should be doing as a streamer, and I think that other people who go past that are kind of weird.
Because she was dressed like, no, I just didn't feel comfortable. I got out of the water and I left. I don't see what the problem is.
Yeah, exactly. When you when you elaborate on it, yeah, it makes sense. I think everyone just took it the wrong way because of how you worded it. It just came off weird.
Well, it was also because I was really hated at that time.
I mean, that could have been part of it, but I feel like if you're definitely being hated, and there's an increased chance to be like clip chimped or purposely misunderstood by bad actors. I feel like you should definitely consider a lot more of your wording. 100%.
We're just giving him advice. Like, oh god, I don't know. This reminds me like the Tipster John Swan call. Like, do we really need to hear this? Are we only hearing this because people hate Jar right now?
I've seen so many videos of men being perceived as predators just by minding their own business and sitting there. So I don't want
Okay, now this is getting interesting. Where the fuck did that come from?
to be put in a situation like that myself.
Yeah, I'm not saying stay in the pool jar. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I understand your thought process now. Right, like it's just like I think if you clarified that in your response, like maybe that like could have been like a segment in your response video for that, and like the other thing was maybe like even the 14-year-old thing. I think a lot of people were confused that you called it a honeypot situation, which
it's because it was. This was right after Chaos 55T and me started going at it, and like right after it started, I saw that and I said, I know this is someone who doesn't like me using this account. So that's why I immediately blocked, because I was afraid that no matter what I said, it would have been twisted into something bad. So I just immediately blocked that account.
Yeah, I mean, I think like it was even like that Chud that said it, like just using the word honeypot just kind of like implies that there's...
All right, guys, I gotta be honest with you. I don't care about this. I'm sorry, I gotta abort this segment. We're halfway through this call, and there's not a single thing that's entertained me the entire time. So I imagine that there's a huge percentage of the audience that really doesn't give a fuck here. I think Queeman's covered this call. Maybe you can watch it through him. I think Beckett's covered this call. You can watch it through him. I don't care. I need Jar to make a video for it to be funny. What is this? Just a Robot's interview at Mally Malware? Yeah, I don't care about this either. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really struggling. I don't know a lot about the art CC stuff, so I don't think it's super. I don't think I'm the guy to sit here and do this for an hour. The Molly call is more funny. It's definitely more interesting. Yeah, but I don't know any of the old lore. I think that it's better served on Beckett's channel. Beckett or Queeman or Chud even. I think did Chud cover it? It's just I don't know. Queeman gave up. Yeah, like there's just nothing there. It's just a waste.